Hello, boys and girls, lads and lassies, and welcome back to Let's Talk Geeky. And Jim and Mr. AWK Alec, how's your week been?
Oh, it's been absolutely lovely, especially what's been happening with my channel at the moment.
Oh,
Oh,
my basically, I always check to make sure it goes live. And what I did was I normally put the sound down, and I forgot, and it was actually shouting in the background. So we're live, at least we know.
yeah.
It's always a good sound.
Hold it and Dod it want up to say hello before they disappear. Right, say hello. Right, come on. Come on. Oh. There you go. There you go, boys. Say cheerio. Say hello.
Cheerio.
Say cheerio. You know how Benji actually goes for me and Buddy actually just looks straight into the camera. Mister. So that's my boys. Right, fuck off.
They look far too eager this evening.
Yeah.
You fed them iron brew or something.
Yeah, that's because we've been out most of the day because we were at a music fest. It was friends. There's one in Glasgow, and rather than actually going to it, what they did was they set up their whole back and had music. They had they even brought somebody in to sing. They had food, drink. They've got their bar in the back, and it was fun. It was a fun night. So I had to leave because obviously I need to get back here for this. So we left it midstream, but it was fun. So we've been away most of the day, so the dogs have not seen me since about 2:00. So, and that's obviously I just got back in about half an hour ago. But it was a fun day we had, so that's why they two are jumpy because we've not been in. Normally on a Saturday, I'm in all day getting things ready, but hence the reason why I sent the links out first thing this morning because I knew I would be busy.
Jim, is that your new permanent home for flashing and Ming at the back now? I can't hear you.
Your sound is off.
Well, if you really want to see him, I can flash him like this.
Yeah.
Oh, I like your new setup.
So you've got your setup set up with your cameras and your bits and pieces. Shush. That's my dog's barking because you can see old Jonesy sitting there and he thinks that's his. And every time he sees him, he jumps up and tries to bark and bite him because it's a soft toy, it talks, and he thinks it's his. So every time you hear barking, he's jumping up trying to get Jonesy.
You might have to get another Jonesy.
No, because he'll rip it to shreds and he'll want me.
No. Yeah, why can't they bring out?
My dogs have got a habit of ripping anything, even ones that they say are tough and for dogs. They rip them to shreds within about 10 minutes.
Well, it makes good practice for having the more, shall we say, sensitive toys at an out of reach height.
In the coming months. Okay. It's because he's a soft toy and he talks. That is why.
I'm talking about your triple mini.
If I've got my Laurel and Hardy, which are soft with porcelain heads and feet, they don't care because they don't talk, so they ignore them because he talks and they know he talks. They want him. They want him to say, "Stop shouting at me." They don't like it up him. But that's just the dogs for you.
Ain't it interesting tonight? We're all wearing black.
Yes.
It's my natural color. What can I say?
Working from home, we will rock you in The Godfather. Yep. Oh.
As long as I don't break out into song, that'll be okay.
Yes. So, what have you been watching this week?
Well, gave Strange New Worlds a shot. The Boys. I haven't seen the Orville yet. And what we mentioned last week about For All Mankind, it's got pretty interesting, really.
I've not started watching All Mankind, but I watched the Orville.
Mm-hmm.
I've got a hold of. Ian sent me a copy. One. What's it called? I've got it here for tomorrow. What is a Woman?
Oh yeah, I noticed that.
Ian says that's really good. I've got a copy of The Clan of the Cave Bear. Managed to get a hold of that. So I'm going to watch that tomorrow. Well, I'm away seeing my grandson tomorrow, so tomorrow night, if I'm not online, I'm going to watch The Clan of the Cave Bear and What is a Woman. Because I finished watching The Librarians. I've watched the movies. What else have I been watching? I watched The Orville, and I was not impressed with it at all.
So I might as well give it a miss then.
See, last week, I wasn't impressed with last week because it was almost like everybody has to be part of the same society. They all have to have the chips in, and that's the only way to live. And I did not like that storyline at all. This storyline, the girl who plays Topa is absolutely fantastic, and I cannot fault her at all. She's going to be a fantastic actress as she grows older, based on what she did as Topa in this episode. Cannot fault her. She was absolutely amazing. She's the best thing about the whole episode. However, my least favorite character in the whole series, all the way from the beginning right through, is Clyden, Bordis's husband. In this one, I actually felt that I agreed with him. And if you can get me to agree with a character which is the classed is actually put there to be a bully, a xenophobe, and that, and he's one of the my least favorite characters, and I agree with them, there's something wrong with the episode.
Yeah.
And people are actually giving it different, they're saying different things about it. They're saying it's a trans story.
Yeah.
But it's not. It's a detransitioning story. However, the way they did it, I just think it was too preachy. So I don't care if it was one side or the other. It was just too preachy for me. But it had a feel-good ending. I do agree that the ending had a feel-good. I just didn't like the story. However, the girl who plays Topa was absolutely phenomenal. And any stories round Topa, I think, will be superb because of her. She's an excellent actress. So she is. And I was very impressed. They aged Topa up too quickly. I think you saw Topa, then you saw him saw Topa as a wee boy because they're all male. And then they've aged them up to this girl played Topa. And she was phenomenal. I absolutely loved her, but still didn't like the story. And I was listening to Clobby. He was on a channel with who was he on with? Oh, I can't remember that was one I was watching. And Clobby was saying the last 2 episodes he didn't like, and if it keeps going down that route, he'll stop watching it. And I was sitting there going, quite agree with that. Yep. It's actually driving me away from it.
Is it me or season 3 has absolutely changed the way?
Oh, it has completely changed. The very first episode I really liked, and it's been gradually getting less good in the last 2 episodes.
Well, judging by what it could be, this might be the final season at the moment.
They're talking. I think somebody mentioned that they're trying to actually get a final season.
Yeah.
A 4th season out of it, but I don't think they will. Not based on the fact is the way they're going. It's just unfortunate. So it is. I'm just trying to find out whose channel I was watching.
Well, not last week, but the week before, I watched Strange New Worlds. And it was more like a comedy episode because they all took part in like a fantasy world. And I think they were trying to play like on the Orville in that way.
See, if you've got a program which is a homage to the original series, and then you've got the current series trying to copy the rip-off, then there's something wrong.
I know. It was a good episode. It was a good episode. You just don't expect some characters to be, you know, to be what they are.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think Star Trek with Strange New Worlds, it's finding its audience, but it's not shoving the message too much in your throat.
Yeah. I think, see, I've not watched it because I stopped watching any Star Trek. So the thing is, everybody keeps on going on about how if it improves, would you watch it again? No, because they've driven me away from it. It's the same as Stranger Things. People said season 1 was fantastic. I thought season 1 was really good, and then season 2 was crap. So I stopped watching it. So I'm not going to watch season 3, and I'm definitely not going to start watch season 4, even though a lot of people are saying it's second best because season 1 and season 4 are the two best. Season 1 was the best. I'm not going to watch 2 crap seasons just to go into a 4th season. They lost me. As soon as they lost me, I'm not going to ever going to go back.
I've never seen Stranger Things, and I'm
the first
not
season. It was good because it was different. So you had the group playing Dungeons and Dragons, the kids set at the time frame, and then it was the horror round behind it, and it was good. But then they changed it because
has it become like too big for itself?
I think it has. To me, it was a 1 season TV show. And then what they did was they wanted to move it on to the next, then the next.
Yeah.
And you're sitting there thinking, I would not want to be those kids because every year they're going to actually get terrorized by more monsters and more monsters. It's like living in what's Cove, Angela Lansbury.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to live in that.
Murder She Wrote.
Murder She Wrote. I don't want to live anywhere near her because they're more likely to die. And it's that type of thing when you get something which just gets too big.
Yeah.
I think it's just got too big for my liking. I know some people actually like certain things doing that. I hate programs when they actually have to change it.
Yeah.
Go back to, remember London's Burning?
Oh, yes. Yeah.
I loved London's Burning at the beginning because it was all about the fire station, the fire.
That was a fantastic series, but it just got to the point.
And stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because they started going outside the fire station and following the people's lives. And I just went, no. But the problem is, that's what these directors go, all right, we need to expand it. You look at CSI.
Yeah.
Like, what, 14, 15 seasons? And it was they had the occasional wee bit with somebody outside, but on the whole, it was all about their job.
That's where it was always contained, but it was also they had some great story arcs.
Yeah. So you had wee bits outside the job, but it was always the job was the main focus of the story, which is why it's so successful. As soon as it started, it would start going out with that. I just think it is actually it got too big. So I think things.
Hello. Sorry, I'm late.
No problem.
You're never late. You're never late.
You never late. You always arrive when you're intended.
Just when I mean to.
Well, you are our Lady Penelope, so you like to arrive in style.
Oh well, there we go.
Do you want to say hello to Wayne? He's want to jump up. Hold on. Right, come on, say hello to Wayne. Say hello.
Oh, hello.
Come on as well. There, say hello.
Hello.
See,
hello, sweetie.
The one who loves the camera.
Hello.
Buddy always looks at the camera.
Hello, buddy.
And Benji's
hello, sweetie.
Right, you two.
He's listening.
Right now, hey, buddy. There you go. Right.
Oh dear.
Who needs a shower? Yeah, I was saying to the guys, I've been away most of the day because we were at a fest. A friend, there's a music festival. I think it's Tina Park, or it used to be Tina Park, but they've renamed it, and it's in Glasgow. And rather than them going, they decided to have a fest in their back garden. So they've done their their shed into a bar, which looks amazing. I've seen a few
Wow.
done. Some of them look really good, but this one looked cozy. The type of thing you could sit in the winter and enjoy it. It just looked
Oh yeah.
amazing. And they even had a singer in. So, and there was a lot of family around it. No, it's not our family. We basically went and we were invited, and it was absolutely great. But the problem is, I had to leave to come back and do this, or else I'd still be there. It was fun. It was fun.
Oh.
But the dogs missed us because we've been away most of the day.
That's
Oh,
why they're so
okay,
hyper
yeah.
this evening.
Yes,
Yeah.
that's exactly why they're hyper, because I've been out most of the day. Normally I'm out for a couple of hours on a Saturday morning, and then I'm in the whole rest of the day, and they're fine. But because I've been out, going to leave me at my feet alone. He's biting. Arrgh. I've got a new one. So I have. See, my Ash is still there, and my Wolfman is there still. However, I've moved the Cylon over to there because I needed a bit more space, because I got my little friend
Yeah, say hello to my little
to
friend.
move. Yes, I have. So I would need to clear a bit more space there, because I've got my Godzilla as well there. So I would need to clear a bit more space to get the Cylon back.
Mm.
And I've got the Thunderbirds token that Alex sent me. It is superb. Alex, I'm still surprised you sent it. It is absolutely amazing. So that's the box it comes in.
Oh, cool.
And that's
Very cool.
Yep.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, that is really cool.
It is
Really nice.
beautiful. So well made, even the back of it.
Oh wow.
It
was
absolutely
in my shelf
fun.
for a number of years.
So
That
got
is
pride-
stunning.
It is, and it got pride of place up here. So it can
Oh,
be
that's
seen.
lovely.
It can be seen. So that's why it's up there, because it is absolutely amazing. Thank you, Alec.
No problem.
But so what he's been watching? That was the original question before I went on a side.
Squirrel. I can go next then. I kicked up the TV show Defiance again.
Yes.
So I have it in my collection now and can stream whenever I want to, because I kind of like the whole futuristic aliens have crash landed on planet Earth, and it's a little bit of Western. And
I've heard
good
about it.
balance.
I've not watched it. I've seen clips.
Oh, it's
of it.
superb.
I've seen clips, and it does look fun.
It is. It's cool.
Fun, would that be the right word? It does look interesting.
It's definitely entertainment, as entertainment should be. It has everything from characters you love to hate and characters you hate to love.
Mhm.
It's got the rogue, it's got the scoundrel, it's got the prostitutes, it's got the town mayor, it's got the rival big rancher dude. So think, what's it called, High Chaparral? That kind of conflict between two big, shall we say, groups. But I'm trying to not spoil it. You'll find out exactly what it is they really do.
That's a fair assessment. Yeah, because there's so much more to it, but that's a good description going in. It does have a little bit of everything, and it's also got Jamie. What's her surname? Jamie.
Oh, I know which one you mean. She's stunning.
Is it Murray?
Jamie Murray, thank you. Yeah. And also Tony Curran, who I absolutely adore as well. So both brilliant actors.
He played Helena in Warehouse 13.
Yeah.
She did?
Oh, yeah. The main girl, well, the daughter, so to speak, of Nolan, she's been in far more sci-fi TV shows than you could probably count.
I remember Jamie Murray in the TV show The Hustle when that first came out.
No, she's been around as well.
Yeah, but but her dad was in the bill.
Yeah, I just remember her as H.G. Wells.
Yes, yeah.
And he was superb.
And if you like Jamie Murray, you will love this. It is superb.
She is she's fantastic. I was saying, when did you see the Orville? Yeah.
No, we love the Orville. We watched the very first season, but we just haven't had. We lost the ability to see it for a while when it went to one of the other networks. I forget.
Hulu.
And then we kind of got so far away from it that we haven't gone back to it now. But I adored it. The first season was wonderful.
Mm-hmm. Well, the first episode in season 3 was good.
Are they still maintaining?
They're maintaining the quality. However, I think the stories, it definitely has changed the way it's done. Something's changed in it, and the stories are a bit preachy. Doesn't matter if it's the left or the right side, it's preachy, and even the ones that people class as, "Oh, you must like it because it's a right leaning."
I have tried to stay clear of everybody talking about it and things like that, so I can explore it slowly, because as I understand it, the first episode was meant to be an homage to a colleague, a friend of theirs that did pass away between the seasons.
Norm Macdonald, he played Jaffed, and
Norm Macdonald, yes, I remember him. Yeah, I can remember when they.
But the one thing I was saying about this episode is the girl who plays Topa is she's fantastic. She's a phenomenal actress, and as she gets older, I think she's just going to get better. So she is. So she is definitely the highlight of the episode. Doesn't matter if I liked it or not. You cannot. I don't see anybody being able to criticize her acting. She was just phenomenal, and it had a feel-good ending. So it wasn't my favorite episode, but I still cannot see anything.
It's the overall that you're looking for.
Yeah.
Is it a thoroughly enjoyable story?
No matter how critical I could be, it had a feel-good ending, which, yes, even I could feel myself smiling. And she was fantastic acting the whole way through, from the beginning right to the end. She was a phenomenal. Everything she did, you could feel it. It felt right.
It's been so long since we've seen it. Is she the security?
No, Topa is Bortus and Kryden's son.
I did wonder if that's who that character was. Yeah, because obviously we saw the first season.
The first season, he just had the egg.
Yeah,
and had the baby.
Yeah.
In season 2, they aged it up a bit, so it was like a wee boy. Now it's like more teenage age, and it's a girl that's playing it, and she is a phenomenal actress.
Brilliant.
I'm trying to remember now. Wasn't it the whole thing with Bortus that she was born a girl, but this is supposed to be a male-only society, so therefore they had to do the
and there was a request.
I kind of remember that. Yeah,
it was the trial. So this is a follow-up to that trial. So it is. People knew it was going to come back, and it's a follow-up. It's obviously someone who is at an age is getting curious and trying to find out things.
Well, you see, I do not mind these stories that the shall we say, the leftists are always screaming about. You have to love them. It's like, no, I don't have to love them. Tell me a great story on this topic, and I will.
This is not a leftist. This is a more right. That's what I'm saying. It doesn't matter if it's left or right. I don't like this the way the shows seem to lecture you.
Preach.
It doesn't matter if it was good or bad. And this to me it wasn't a. I'm trying not to actually ruin it. What it is it's more of a right leaning one compared to the thing, but it's just a case of I didn't like it. My least favorite character from the beginning has been Kryden, Bortus's husband. he's been my least favorite character because he's set up to be the person you're meant to dislike because he's xenophobic, he's sexist, and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Because male society and he doesn't treat any of the females as if they've got a worth. Doesn't matter because he doesn't work on the ship. He just stays on the ship with his husband, so that's okay because Bortus is respectful to his commanders, his underlings, and all that. So he's set up to be this type of person. And if you get me to agree with him, there's something wrong. That's the way I was looking at it. Even though it was a more right-leaning story, if you can get me to agree with him, it's something wrong because he's my least favourite character. And that's the only thing about it. The last 2 episodes I've known has been as Keenan. And the problem is there've been follow-ups from earlier episodes, and I think that's what it is. It's almost like somebody saying, what happened in that story? What happened in that story? Now tell us a story to continue it. And that's the problem. I think out of the five episodes, it's 5 episodes, 5th episode.
Well, if you don't have the plan and you're suddenly being forced to say, hey, you have to pick up the slack now, or like grab this, it's just going to be a really jagged edge kind of story.
The thing is, you've got 5 episodes, and I think 3, maybe 4 out of the 5 have been a continuation of previous stories. So it's almost like there's no new stories. It's just they're sort of picking up pieces from earlier stories. And that's the part I think the change has happened. It's not the episodic way it used to be. So they're trying to finish off stories or add extra to the previous stories. And I don't think it works as well in the Orville. I think the Orville works when you've got episodic stuff. The occasional 2-parter, no problem. Or a arc with the war with I can never remember what Isaac's race is.
Kalon.
The Kalons, yeah.
Kalons,
and hi Cockney Spock. Thank you for joining us. Cam. This is no like a junk store for a toy store.
No, it's an Aladdin's cave.
I love that one comment. I do change my display, but I like all my stuff out so I can turn around and go, there's a bit from that, there's a bit from that.
DJ,
oh, yeah, definitely.
DJ, it's your Aladdin's cave. That's what it is.
Exactly. As my wife calls it, my junk box.
The happy place.
That's my happy place. That's exactly it, Wind. It is my happy place where I can go and turn around and there's a bit from that, a bit from that, a bit from that. It's not a case of if I want to see that, I have to look there. If I want to see that, I have to look. I want to see it all around me. I'm okay with that.
Basically, it's the greatest toy shop ever that you could have walked into as a kid, but you have it now in your room.
And do you know what I need to add to it? And I've already been looking and scalping Action Man. I do not have any Action Man. The problem is any Action Man you see, which are fairly inexpensive and they look good in the box, they fit the clothes, are about £20. You can see the plastic hands. And I don't want one. It's like that. I've seen classic ones for about £60 just for the figure on its own. No clothes, nothing with it. With the plastic bottom half and the rubber finger, not the original ones where they had the rubber full fingers, which kept popping off. I was talking to Julie and Miranda. Basically, she was reminding me. Basically, the fingers kept popping off, and you need to be more careful. But it's because they were rubber. They got a bit brittle and they would snap off. You had no choice in it. But when we were discussing it on Twitter, it was she pitched the dog, and I remember having 2 of them, and I was sitting there thinking, I remember that, and it's just one of those things. As soon as somebody's reminded me of something, I just remember all the happy times. And there was one story I was wanting to tell her, but I couldn't because it was too long to type up. Me and my brother got into trouble one day because we decided we got our Action Men. We got our half track. He had the German half track. I had a scout car. We had them. We had the tent. We had the kit and all that. And we decided they went camping. So we got a box of matches. And my mum's carpet had the big the big oval design in the centre with. And so it was the older. You're talking about. Me and my brother would have been about 10, 11 maybe probably even a wee bit older. So you're talking about 45 years ago. So you can imagine the design. So it was the oval carpet, with the carpet with the oval design in the centre. So we got all the matches and built them into a wee campfire. And set a light on the carpet and burnt a hole in the carpet.
Oh no!
We got into trouble, but I was going to tell Miranda that one, and I couldn't because it was too long. But me and my brother got into major trouble.
I was just going to say, but you're still with us, so that's always a good thing.
Pocket money got stopped for 6 months each, so we could replace the carpet.
Ooh!
And that meant every week I used to take my pocket money and go down to Duke's. Was it Duke Street, Denison? There was a wee shop there, and he used to do all figures and and Action Man outfits, and I would buy a new outfit every week from my pocket money, and I couldn't do that for 6 months, and it broke my heart. But it certainly made sure we didn't actually settle into anything after that.
It must have been a nightmare for you if they released something.
That's a long time, 6 months.
Yeah.
6 months. It was because my mum says you burnt it, you are replacing it. So me and my brother, for 6 months, no money at all. And at the weekend, we had to go down to the work with my dad, which my granddad used to give us a couple of pounds. So if we went down, we would actually mix cement and stuff like that. We would do all the labour work. And
you got sent to labor camp. You got sent to the labor camp.
A couple of quid for helping out. So every time my granddad gave us a couple of quid, my dad went, "Thank you." So we had to go down and work on nothing. My granddad kept saying,
"That's harsh."
I just gave him that for work. He says, but he burnt a carpet. So it was fun. Hindsight, it was fun. And I could understand why he did it, but see, at the time, I know that. But that's what I get for burning a...
I mean, if I was your attorney, I would have said, were there any signs that said not to burn the carpet? You know, was this carpet properly signed? Was there signage?
We didn't burn the carpet. It was a campfire. We just burnt the camp, and we controlled the fire into the circle. We made sure.
I know, you should have been, you know.
So there's a hole in the carpet.
Congratulated for your excellent fire making skills.
Oh my God, it was.
Oh my God.
Captain's playing Risk in 4 hours from now. I've got Risk.
Oh, I remember Risk.
So I have, and I've still not taken it out of the box. Because
I was actually tempted to showcase a few of the games because I had a non-stop day.
Yeah,
and I didn't have time to run out to the charity shop until about 4:30, like 30 minutes before they closed. So it was an absolute scramble. So I was going to use my games that I got around Christmas. I might have presented them before, so it could have been a repeat, but I did manage to find something that I think might look cool. I have no idea what it is. It's basically emergency backup gathering that I got. But yeah. We were actually, I know you're catching up on that. The other things I was watching this week, Force of Nature with Mel Gibson.
Oh,
with that.
Kind of liked it, but it wasn't my cup of tea. It was action, it was police, it was danger, it was killings, it was stuff like that. But at the end of it, Mel Gibson lifted it, no doubt. He lifted it, but it was so and so. I'm going back on a couple of old school TV shows that I really liked, and one of them is The West Wing. Because if I'm going to be brutally fair, having heard the news that came out this week about Trump going Grand Theft Auto 5 on his own Secret Service agents, and like grabbing the steering wheel and everything. I thought I need to watch a clever White House drama kind of thing where there is less of that smear, whatever you want to call it. I don't even know how to identify it anymore. He's been out of the office for 2.5 years now, and they still have the derangement syndrome. So what do you do? Another one that came in on my list. Oh crap! I lost it again. Yes, I already said Defiance, and there is one on Netflix. Woody Harrelson, The Man from Toronto. I'm not gonna disclose.
For that.
I'm not gonna disclose anything, but Woody Harrelson delivers as always.
He always does. That's good trailer. I saw the trailer. It's absolutely brilliant.
I've no seen it, no heard about it.
No, it's a surprise to me. It's released this year. I've never seen any trailer or promo or big adverts, and I walk past the local cinema at least 3 times a week. Not seen anything about it whatsoever.
Yeah. Well, I've got on my list All Mankind and the Clan of the Cave Bear, the movie we were talking about last week.
Oh, talking about that, I did sacrifice an Audible credit on Michael Crichton's Eaters of the Dead. Which
yes, I've read that. Warrior. That's really good.
It is essentially a Tolkien / Andy Weir. There is a lot of background research and everything, and how the historic documents have actually come down through the timelines. Actually, the real history, commentary, translations, all of that. And then he's adding his comment, and then he's weaving the story based on the input and how translations or mistranslations took place throughout the centuries. It's really, really interesting. It's even, I would say that the closest it hits is Heinlein's Starship Troopers.
Oh, well,
where it's
unfortunately, I've got a list of books sitting. The Belgariad. Somebody's got me rereading it, so I need to go and purchase it. So I'm still listening to Belgarath the Sorcerer. I've already got the book 1 from the Belgariad, and I've still got 2, 3, 4, and 5. Then I've got Polgaria the Sorceress. Then I've got the Malorian. So I'm going to be about a year before I
be busy.
get this book. And that's that Jim one. He basically got me that. So
that's just around the Belgariad series. There's about 13 books in total for the Belgariad.
There's 2 5s, 12 books. There's 2 5s. There's 5 in the Belgariad, 5 in the Malorian, and the Belgarath, and then there's the Polgara.
Belgarath, Polgara, and I believe there is another one that is a compendium. It's not considered so much a book, more as an encyclopedia or something. I always keep missing out on it, but I know there is one more.
I've not seen that one. I've not seen that in Audible, because to me, the Belgarath, the Sorcerer, is very like that. It's telling the story leading up to the Belgariad. So yes.
Yeah, it's just 7,000 years compiled into one book.
Yep.
Just
32 hours. 32 hours. Still got a wee bit to go. But fun. Cockney Spot was basically saying that, Cam, who was it who was saying that their man cave is based at the cause of and the effect of their divorce. My original set was I didn't have a man cave. My shed
was the captain.
had everything. The captain. So my shed had everything in it. So I kept all my Warhammer stuff in the shed, which was a bit damp. And most of my books got ruined and damp. So all my Warhammer figures, because they were plastic and metal, I got back, and then I had to sell them all just to actually
that is heartbreaking.
build. and I was gutted. So as you can imagine, I never thought I would get this again.
Oh God.
And then my wife said that's why
There
we
we
got
go.
when we got a new house, we basically she says another room because you're not putting that shite in my house. So hence the reason why I've got my man cave. So yeah, that looks great, Jim.
That does. That's amazing.
Unfortunately, I was hoping to get something to rival it. I wouldn't say rival it, but just to enhance our thingy, but it didn't turn up today.
Yeah,
Hopefully
it is because of the disaster that struck. So I plugged everything in, all the toys that I did have, and just like tucked away in boxes and everything. And now pull it all out, plug it all in. It's complete reset. But yes, I do have a little bit more magic that I can do. I still need to figure out how to make the soundboard work again. And I remember the last time when we were trying to play around with it and set it up, it took weeks.
Yeah, I know. I was the same, but mine was working and then it stopped. So I've just unplugged it and I've not even
Soundboards are really weird, aren't they? They're just like so troublesome.
Yeah.
So
You know what it is?
I've unplugged mine, but I'm not entirely sure. I don't want to plug it back in because it was causing problems, but I don't know if it was my mic because when I was on with the father yesterday, him and Ian were saying it was beeping. There was a beeping coming from here, and there was zero sound. So I'm wondering if it was my mic it was causing the problem. I might have to get a new mic again. Another one. The mic I've got a spare mic, but it's a USB mic, which means I couldn't put it through my soundboard anyway because I need to have a jack to put it through the soundboard. So
what about one of those handheld soundboards that, you know, like a little sound machine where it's just completely not connected, battery operated or whatever, and you just hold it up to the mic, and because it's almost like it just sounds like it's so frustrating to try and get it all to work right. But I guess it's the mission then you get.
I was looking at that, but if you put something on to try and suppress background noise and you put it up, it can muffle it.
Right.
Okay. You remember my Corporal Jones?
Mm-hmm.
When I would put him up initially, you couldn't really tell what he was saying, or it was a bit muffled. You couldn't say here it was Clive Dunn, and it is, but it's just one of those things. And I would need to take this off, and then you'll hear me dead deep and do it and stuff like that. But I've been passing my card out any chance I had a chance to let people know, come and see me because I don't sound this bad because I've got a mic. It actually got a muffler.
We've been watching V.
Been watching V?
V.
The original, not the remake.
Oh no. Classic V. We have the classic set. It had been quite a few years. I mean, I saw it when it first went out. Many moons ago. I met some of the actors at a con in New York State. Robert Englund, who is so cool. He's so funny, and he's just. I only had like a few minutes to speak to him, but I was at a convention, and the photographer at the convention sort of tapped me on the shoulder and said, "We're looking for like a fan to do some promo pics about the con and things like that. Would you mind coming?" And I was just like, yeah. So they took me back, and Robert Englund had just come back from lunch, and I'll never forget, he had a big stain on his tie from lunch, and I had a sort of funny chat with him, you know, for just about a minute, you know, and then we did some photos. And the other actor that was in it, but he was in the TV series version of it, the series that followed the miniseries, the original miniseries, Jeff Yeager. And I've got those pictures somewhere, but the original miniseries is just so good. I mean, we were just so impressed at how well it held up.
I still remember the bit where Robert Englund first appeared in it, going round wee piece of paper. I am just. You're
Oh
just what?
yeah.
I am just. You're just what? You sound lost. He says, "That's it. I am lost."
Yes.
Sorry, I'm
They
meant to
kept
be in the Arab zone, but they posted me here, and I had to relearn.
yeah.
I will forgive a lot of the new V TV series,
Oh,
but it is Alan
amazing.
Tudyk that is carrying it. He's really good at coming up with these different roles. And that's kind of part of what I like about Resident Alien, because it feels a little bit
We haven't seen
similar.
anything.
And the girl who was played in the new version was the one that played. Was it Anala in Firefly?
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she was from Firefly, and then you have the blonde teenage girl. She was doing a werewolf TV show that lasted like 3 or 4 seasons, which was fairly political. And I'm not talking left-right political. It was more like, "Hey, we're werewolves. You're vampire. Please fuck off." Pardon the
Mhm.
language, but that was the kind of, "This is our territory. You do not come in on our territory. You stay out." So I really like that one. Can't remember the name of it. It was a long time ago, but
Don't
yeah,
recognise it.
We're now we've watched right the way through from the very first miniseries, and then it's now we're into the TV series, and it's going from bad to worse.
Yeah, it got very cheap.
And I felt you do feel bad for them because you could see how the budget was getting cut and cut and cut. And the actors are lovely. I mean, they're all brilliant. But it was going from bad to worse. And now it's sort of like it's become a comedy show. You know, we just sat there laughing, you know, because it just got so bad.
I remember seeing
the only
it as
ones
a
that are
kid.
still that save it are Robert Englund, Jeff Yeager is good, but Jane Badler. It got so I love Jane Badler. She's like the original villain, you know, and you have to love the 80s huge hair, the 80s hair,
Yeah.
the 80s makeup, you know.
Hair.
And in
That's
the
just what I'm thinking
miniseries,
about.
she was superb. She was superb, and she's wonderful all the way through as an actor. But it was the scripts and the stuff was so bad,
I
and
just remember
you're
it.
just kind of like, oh my god, I can't watch.
I remember it cheap, and they were just constantly reusing the same bits when one of the craft was taken off or
Yeah.
landing.
Yeah, that was it. Was grabbed my attention. I've looked back at it with more, shall we say, modern eyes, being able to manipulate graphics myself, and I'm just going. I was impressed by that, but it was that you really were. Okay,
You have to
the
remember,
gold standard was Star Wars, 1977
Yeah,
Star
but
Wars.
remember, we grew up with Doctor Who, so that was actually still good quality.
Yeah, it is. It still is today, but it is. I think age and experience do matter
Yeah.
when it comes to watching
See,
or
I think the
experiencing
opposite
story.
because of our age and the understanding. We're more forgiving of cheap sets and stuff like that from stuff in the back because it was the story seemed to come through. Whereas, unfortunately, with V, because the story wasn't very good either, you noticed the cheap. And whereas Doctor Who, there was a lot of cheap, but the stories were good. You didn't really notice it, and we can look back now and say, "Yeah, look at those cheaps." They can see the set go like that as they walk past it. But because the story's good, we still give it a pass because we're
But
more understanding of how.
I'm not the biggest Doctor Who fan, but it's always felt to me, and I know now, I know better now that yes, there was actually more months and weeks in the planning, but for me, it felt like they tried to make all the entire season in literally a week. So you had the poor set engineers having to build the walls, the sets, the toys, the props, everything. And they literally had 24 hours come up with something. It's like how to build a Dalek. That's an upside down flower pot, stick a plunger into its nose. Done. Just roll it off. Because it feels like that, but then the clever people that are behind the scenes, they did more things. Because if you look at the Dalek, even the first one I remember is very alive compared to just like it's a prop or just like a robot.
Yeah. And there is a misconception that the Daleks were designed because they were trying to explain how the Daleks were doing. The guy had the salt and pepper pots and was moving around, and they says, "Oh, that's what we'll do." No, the Daleks were actually designed well before that, and it's just a case of because somebody says that it looked like a pepper pot, and then that was actually the urban legend that grew up that somebody saw a pepper. They saw the guy using a salt and pepper pot to represent them while he was displaying or talking about the scene. That's how the Daleks came around. But if you go look at some of the earlier documentaries, they were talking and they showed you different iterations that they were thinking. And just so happens the pepper pot was one of the ones that actually went further forward within the range. But I think it actually is fun when you think, oh, it was done in the cheap. So somebody saw a pepper pot and we'll just build one like that because we can get hold of the stuff. And
But we do have plenty of those stories coming through. It is when it comes to design, less is more, and we all know the greatest sci-fi design that has ever taken place is actually the Millennium Falcon, which is a burger with a toothpick and olive chunk. That is like, that's it. And then they just came up with the design around it. Just like, okay, it is actually what it looks like. But it is really great. It works. It looks
simple
alien.
design,
It looks sci-fi.
You look at the difference between R2D2 and BB-8.
Yeah, BB-8 is designed to be a kid's toy.
Yeah, exactly. But R2D2 was a simple fact is somebody has to sit in it and they has to be able to turn that. And so it's a bucket. And literally it was designed that way. It was to be practical. Somebody had to be inside it to work on it.
There we go.
Yep.
3 Dalek designs.
Uh-huh.
Oh, nice.
I remember the one in the middle. The one on the side, I can't remember. But it was a while ago that I actually watched the DVD when they were talking about it.
The one on the right is the one you usually see at Comic Cons when people do cosplay.
Yeah. See, the one on the left kind of reminds me of a forgotten character out of Button Moon.
Yeah. See, I think they originally it's the same as, remember these?
The Quarks.
The Quarks, remember them?
Yep.
To me, that's they designed these to be the new Daleks, and they didn't work.
No.
Because they would fall over because they thought it would be easier because that way the robots could walk and they didn't have to worry about having a flat area for the Dalek to roll in and out. They had that. But anytime you watch the Quark, you see the bit where Jamie and the Quarks as it going out of screen, it goes because it falls and they kept but
Actually, weren't there kids actually inside those suits?
It's a case of obviously there wasn't a lot of short actors around. So yes, it was kids in it, but they were too clunky, and you see them walking, and you see it. And if you look at the one with the Quarks, you see the one with Jamie's there, and the Quark goes off screen. As it goes off screen, it just tips because you can just see it go whoop. But they left that in because that was the way they actually filmed.
I'm surprised the Crotons weren't like heavily like advanced, really.
I think it was of the time. It was one of these things that no, you're just trying to copy the Daleks. The Daleks are never going to be replaced. So it was a case of anything people put forward, didn't matter if they were practical or whatever. People just says no, not as good as the Daleks. Because remember, Sidney Newman actually didn't want bug-eyed monsters.
Yeah, it's true.
And it was only after they had to put that on because they were running out of time, that because they didn't have another story, that he relented and put it forward. And then
that was Verity. Verity pushed that, didn't she?
Verity pushed it because they didn't have another script.
Just
so that one went forward. And it was a case of, as he was coming in the next day, he realised that there was everybody talking about these Daleks.
It just shows how much they've like developed into the English culture or British culture now.
Mm-hmm.
And
okay, so mighty, they've been in everything.
Yeah,
Spike Milligan's Q series, they had a Pakistani Dalek.
I know. And apparently, there was a TV show called I forgot what it was called, but they did feature in that TV show, but it's been wiped, unfortunately.
Business right, but it's just one of those things that we keep getting these bumping back in. So they do.
Oh god!
I know we keep getting them, and I can block them as soon as I block them. But they still appear. Did they appear on the chat? I don't know if they actually appear in the chat, but they appear in mines. So I don't know if they actually appear in the chat, or because I have to actually go through each one and actually report it. But so I don't know if it appears in anybody else's chat once I've blocked it.
I think it stays in the chat window. You have to, like with me, I have to go into each.
Yeah, same
each
here.
line and block.
But I think because you're a mod, but if anybody's not a mod can tell us if they appear after we get rid of them.
Oh, that's true. Yeah, I forgot about that.
Because we're mods, we might have the option to remove the block.
Yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah.
Uh-huh. Talking about blocks, I need to speak to you about last week's block because I'm curious.
I've got a little follow-up for you about V as well.
Just
to jump back to V whenever you.
Yeah, we'll go back to V. Go back to V.
When we were watching the miniseries, the not the miniseries, the actual TV series after, we're in the last probably 4 or 5 episodes now, and all of a sudden we noticed that these sets were looking like really familiar. And Darren picked it up first in like one of the little town sets, like one of the parts of the city that they were supposed to be in.
Mm-hmm.
And he goes, that looks like Hazard County. That looks a little bit like the square in Hazard County. And I was like, oh God. And then all of a sudden they have this pullback shot of this long sort of building that's like a pub in the middle of nowhere, like a restaurant in the middle of nowhere. It's only the Boar's Nest. It's the actual Boar's Nest set. And we were crying. And it has, I mean, as soon as you see it and you if you think Boar's Nest, you're like, oh my God, there it is. And they only have the original Duke kitchen, house, everything. They have a scene with this woman who's lives on a ranch or something, and she's like she and her daughter are like the sole survivor on this ranch, and they're fighting apparently like the I think the mayor or the sheriff in the area has basically become a visitor sympathizer or whatever. Uh-huh. And then there's another guy, I think, that's sort of taken the town over as kind of almost like a Negan character, you know? But it's like the inside of the Duke's kitchen. It's hilarious. And we were just, our jaws were on the floor. We were kind of like, oh my God. Once you see it, you can't unsee it, you know? It was really funny.
I would love to, I must admit, I need to actually look, because I've got the V, but I've got the mini series. I don't have the TV series.
You're not missing much with the TV series. I will say
I'd
that.
like to watch it just for that.
It's worth watching just for that. You would have to get through most of the TV series because we're in the last 5 or 6 episodes, I think now, and which is when it turns up. But it is hilarious because as soon as you see the boar's nest in this big pull-out shot, you're like, oh my god, where are the Duke boys?
Yeah, that's actually really good. I didn't notice that at all.
That is funny.
But I've not seen the TV show since it first came out. The series I've watched multiple times, but the TV show,
Yeah,
not a great fan of it. Yeah, it's not so much I'm not a great fan of. I think because there's the mini series. If it was just a TV show, if we didn't have the miniseries to launch it and we just had the TV show, I think it would have actually been better. It's like you think of things like the Planet of the Apes. We had the same idea with Planet of the Apes. We had the movie, then you had the TV show, and the TV show wasn't great, but it didn't have the same feeling around it. You could still enjoy it for what it was, and I think it's because if V was a movie and then they did the TV show, it would have been slightly better. It would have been perceived slightly better, but because it was a mini series, people are remembering the multiple episodes, really good episodes, really good TV, and then they've got the same idea, a TV episodic stuff, and it was just not the same. So they're comparing the two, which is fair because the two of them are multiple episode programs, whereas if it was a movie in episodes, people just give it a bit of a pass because they know the way it's actually done. It's a movie, and this is just ripping off a movie or continuation. So I think that's why the TV show was not received as well as it could have been, and it was because they're comparing it to something that was a similar style, but it was far superior.
Well, it had a bigger budget. Definitely, it had a much bigger budget. The stories were, better. But it definitely jumped the shark. It is. I mean, we're laughing more than we're anything else really now watching it.
But yeah, there's a very unique and different style between the TV shows that came out in, what was it, 81. They had the budgets, they had the ideas, they had the stories, they had the actors. It might have been a Firefly thing where they just went, oh, okay, well, you can probably do it. The original budget is 250 per episode, and now you have 50 per episode. And that's why they're reusing everything.
The thing is, they should have actually been able to make a slightly better, even though it was cheaper, because they would have already had all the stuff. But the problem was the budget was slashed so much that it couldn't do the effects, and it was the effects that failed it. The storytelling didn't help, but it was the effects because it was cheap effects.
In the start of it was pretty good. I mean, it wasn't bad. It wasn't as good as the miniseries, but it wasn't like super awful. And you had Michael Ironside as well in it as well, which anything with Michael Ironside in, I'm like, I'm in. But it just gets progressively cheesier, which is a shame because it doesn't start off on a bad foot, but it isn't, it just can't maintain the quality of the storytelling. Because as you said, if it was even with a low budget, I mean, I think someone put in the comments earlier, Doctor Who had an extremely low budget, but it also had excellent storytelling. Which makes up for that. This just didn't.
I'm going to be back in probably about 15 minutes. I'm having connection trouble at the moment, so
no problem.
I'll be right back. Okay.
Yep.
Okay.
No worries. See you soon.
But I think you're right. It's the same idea as what we were saying about Doctor Who. Doctor Who had a cheap BBC budget. However, the stories were good enough that the Zarbi didn't need to look like real ants. because the story was good. You didn't have the undersea kingdom didn't need to be an undersea kingdom where you had the guys stoating about with the plastic all stuck, the circles all stuck round, and as if
Well, we hadn't been spoiled too much as well by that stage. We hadn't had a lot of other, nothing was really out there. Like Star Wars wasn't around yet.
Yeah.
It hadn't spoiled us. So, we were quite content to just use our imagination. And I think that's
like Forbidden Planet or King Kong. They had effects, but they were big budget movies.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the thing. So with anything that was on the TV around that time always looked TV. It looked like theatre. So you were okay with it because you knew they didn't have the budget. But as long as the story was good, you didn't mind.
Mm-hmm.
And that was the biggest difference. Right. I'm laughing. Roman, I watched your stream and I can understand why you can relate to Alec. On his own stream, he got kicked out. Remember that happened to me when I got a power cut. His was a connection issue. Roman's was a connection issue. I was watching it, and luckily enough, he had Mando on, and she just continued on. She saw, oh, they're gone. Okay, what can I do? I'm going to steal the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can appreciate that, Roman, because it happened to me, but I had a full power cut in the whole area. And I couldn't even go in to shut the stream down. If everybody had left, it would have been on. So I had to use my phone.
Yeah, you were out in the car park, sort of.
I was out my back, yes, because there was no lights in the house. It was pitch black. So I was floating about with a torch, going and hoping that as soon as it started getting dark, I had to go. But that was fun. I still remember that. That was amazing.
I noticed Roman
basically MacGyvering a TV show, a live stream.
That one, yeah. Original Trek didn't have a crazy budget either, but the stories, well, most of them, not Spock's brain. That
was
that one. We'll just pass that one by.
The other one I wasn't as keen on is remember all the hippies, cool man, and the basically
don't be a Herbert. Yeah,
I just thought that weird because
I've grown to like that one. It's grown on me. I didn't care for that in the beginning myself. Yeah,
understand where they were going with certain things because space hippies.
It was
weird.
It was a bit daft, but it was. It's grown on me now over the years since we've rewatched the series quite a few times now over the years. And that one definitely has grown on me a bit.
Yeah, but I must admit, I need to actually dig out because I picked up the box sets of season 1, the 3 seasons of Star Trek, the original series, and I need to actually crack that box set and watch them. But I've ran out of things to watch, and I've got For All Mankind, What Is a Woman, and The Clan of the Cave Bear to watch, plus Thunderbirds. So they're my next. They're on my next list.
Plus Defiant.
I listen to the Belgariad as I'm driving, so I don't watch when I'm driving because too many car crashes.
What does your T-shirt say, Jim? Working from home.
It's too small.
I can't quite see it. Working from home. Delete. Does that say?
Yep.
Delete.
Employee of the. I love that. I love that it's like a little.
It's got the apple with the worm coming out of it rather than.
Yes.
Yeah, very clever. Yeah, I like the little Reaper dude on that.
Yeah.
It has a lot of subtle hints, but yes, it's one of my recent procurements that I got.
Yes.
Somehow the company that I get most of my T-shirts from when I do order new bulk, they lost the first one.
Oh,
so
no.
They had to resend a complete order, but the service rep guy was completely fine. It was just going, hey, if you receive 2 of them, Are you gonna complain?
No.
We're replacing
No.
it for free. So if you get the other package, if the depot, whatever is finding it, you're getting it. So
Hi, disaster area.
Jim the Viking
Yeah.
makes death fun.
of
Yeah,
course
I
I do.
actually got my Death of Rats shirt on today. My
Squeak.
squeak.
Squeak. Yes.
Superb.
I love it.
Oh, the
Yeah.
Death Rats is definitely, considering what they did and how they why they brought the Death Rats around, how popular it became so quickly that Terry Pratchett left it. And that's
Yeah,
why he left it.
I
He said
just
he
love
left
it.
it because it was just meant to be in the book. But it became so popular that he thought,
Yeah.
and it's
Sweet.
definitely one of the best sub characters.
Mm-hmm.
Although, where is all the Discworld figures? I want a Corporal Carrot. I want a Knobs. I want a Colon. I want
know.
I want the
a
travel
Heinz.
chest.
I want the travel chest. I want
You should. I do go on to the website now and then. They do occasionally have some new merchandise up there.
Yeah, but basically they can be a wee bit expensive because they're usually
Yes.
specially made.
Yeah,
How
we've got a few things from the website, including these shirts and.
One of the first things I got, it's usually a diary. I usually end up with diaries or booklets. You've seen this one, which is still in here. Remember my TARDIS one?
Yeah.
My first one of those was the hooded. It was basically the Assassin's Guild.
Awesome.
So it was
Yeah.
the double. It was the double cross with the hooded cowl.
Yeah, I got Darren an honorary degree from the Unseen University. What is it again? Hold on.
I love Terry Pratchett. I've got all the books. I've got one of them signed by him. I met him in Glasgow.
It's a Master of Vindictive Astrology or Astronomy. Beg your pardon.
Superb. I want to
such amazing names he came up with.
I would love to have one something to do with Ponder and actually working with Ants Inside, Ant Hill Inside.
Yes.
Because I would love
I love Hex. One. Yeah, when he puts the arm out with the hourglass.
Yeah. Yeah, I basically I want something to do with Hex. Just that's definitely the way I want to do it. But I think, see, the Terry Pratchett stuff, every time you see, like, I'll give you an example. How many pops have we seen all over the place? Funko Pops. Anybody seen a Red Dwarf one? Anybody seen a Terry Pratchett one? Why are they not actually somebody approached them and asked them? They may have it.
They have. I wouldn't be surprised if they have, really, because that's such a popular.
It is both of them.
I'm wondering if it's probably licensing issues or something like that.
But that's what I'm saying. Why not approach whoever owns a license? There must be someone actually sitting there thinking, "There's a revenue," and look at how popular Funko Pops are. So it's not as if it's cheap stuff that nobody's buying.
I'm sure they probably have. They wouldn't have missed that opportunity. Yeah. So it must be something to do, like Jim said, with the licensing issues. Or
they should. I don't understand. Even figures. You look how many figures we've got all over our shelves. Small figures, big figures, whatever. Yeah, unless it's specially done, it is back again. Unless it's specially done, they're expensive. And there's nothing out there. And I'm so gutted that I can't get Discworld figures at a reasonable price.
Yes.
And I am absolutely, it's the same. Right, Red Dwarf as well. I'm the same with Red Dwarf. So
yeah, we'd be all over that as well.
Because I'm still trying to get the bobbleheads. I did see in one place, I saw the Inquisitor, I have someday I'm trying to purchase the Inquisitor, Rimmer, and Crime.
Oh my god.
Sorry, Lister and Crime. I know there's a cat one out there because I got a video from Danny John Jules and he showed us he's got the cat one. So he has. It's actually somewhere in my channel where it's a birthday wish my wife got from Danny John
Yes,
Jules.
I remember that one. That's awesome.
And he's these figures of Dwayne and Cat. He's got 2 of them. So
it is probably also a logistics up and downstream kind of thing, because the toys I've started getting, the films I have, all of that, it's where the heck do I place them so I can kind of try and squeeze them within the camera, or just for my own enjoyment, putting it up on a shelf or a unit, or a like what they call like a flying shelf.
yeah.
It's just so tricky. And the 3 items I'm looking at the moment, boy, are they very pricey, but I would so love to have them. But I'm gonna have to move my computer like 6 foot forward just so that the camera could capture them, because they're that big in size. And they're not even life size, they're still the 1/6 inch characters. But it is because the collection would be so big, I would have to try and figure out how can I possibly display this.
Yeah, I basically that collector I was telling you about. I'm looking at. I wish I had a lot more money because 90% of his stuff I want. I can't afford even a fraction, but he's got some great stuff. He's got a full 6-inch Jason Voorhees. No seen the
Oh
picture of
my
that yet.
god.
I
Don't
just
tell me that.
I've not seen the picture of that one yet, but he's also got. I showed you the picture of the Evil Dead. Remember? What was her name? Oh, I can't even remember. It was the one I showed you the picture of the box. The figure was still in the box behind the door.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got a load of horror figures.
Oh my god, don't tell me that.
He's also got the. That's the same one that I showed you. He's got the Captain Jack.
Sparrow?
Yep. Remember I showed you it last week?
Yes, you did, yeah.
It's the same guy. He's got all those, and I'm sitting there going, I want. I can't afford it.
Oh my god, yeah.
I want. He's got the Ash v Evil Death bust, Evil Ash, with the ram skull on his head. It's so expensive.
Wow.
I want it, but I can't afford it. I really, really want it. But there's thing, and guys, I quite agree. I've not seen the pop figures for the Good Omens, and yes, Death and the Death of Rats would be in the top of my list.
Mm-hmm.
Would be.
Yep. And Pinky.
Oh, Pinky. Yeah, I want.
Go ahead, Pinky.
The one I want from it is I want Nobby Knobs. I want Carrot. You know what I mean? It's just the idea of having those characters and not the ones from the TV.
No.
I want them from somebody designed them from the description in the book.
Yeah.
To me, Nobby Knobs in the TV show looked weird enough. The guy actually had the makeup made him look sort of as, was he a goblin? Was he human? Was he a gnome? Was he had that look about him. So it's so in the TV show he looked, but things like Constable Visit, nah, didn't ring true. Even Carrot didn't quite ring true. To me, Brendan Fraser with ginger hair was more of the what I pictured Corporal Carrot to look like. So he did. So things like that, I would like to see something that, but I know it's going to be unusual. I always wanted to go to a Comic-Con dressed as somebody from the Watch, but I could never make the outfit because by the time I got down to wanting to do it, I had too many other things that I was already on the go for the years to come, and then now I can't. What I want to do is literally get a big metal glove, silver glove hand, and then a outfit from Starship Troopers and go as Richik. Because I've got the haircut for it. So I could get away with being a thing Michael Ironside. So I could. Yes, there's a
Judge Dredd Funko Pop.
Yeah. And I actually opened it and put a.
That's the one.
I put a gunner. On him. It basically the face is blank, and I put that on because it didn't look right without. Because that's what it looks like without it. Look at that blank face. Does that not look better?
Yes, it does.
Yeah, that looks much better.
That's what it looks like. That's what it looked like. Otherwise, it just didn't look right.
Yeah, it is a bit. Yeah, it's unusually sort of like just blank. Yeah.
It's a bit too blank.
Mm.
But when it comes to you saying you want Michael Ironside,
that one. That's
Yay!
Yeah, it definitely needs a facial expression, at least like jaw expression.
That one's not got the facial expression yet, but I will get that.
I was just reading what Cam's put in as well.
Box set, yep. I got the Evil Dead Groovy box set and set.
Wait till you. An Ash Funko holding the Necronomicon and a boomstick. That is cool.
I saw that, but it was on eBay and it was a wee bit too expensive for me.
Oh, that sounds really cool.
It was. It looked cool because I look every so often, especially for the Ash v Evil Dead, as you can imagine from my two figures. I've got my screen thingy of the Ash v Evil Dead 1, 2, and 3. I've also got my Ash v Evil Dead. I've got my Briscoe County Junior. I've got an Ash over there, an A3 frame picture. I like Bruce Campbell, and I want.
We could never guess.
Every time I look at them, they're expensive. They are expensive. The minimum I've seen are just a bog standard Ash one is 30 quid, and that's not in the box. That's just a Funko, a bog standard one, not holding the boomstick. I think he's got his chainsaw on, his chainsaw on, and that is it. But he's not got his boomstick, and it's just Ash just standing, 30 quid, and it's a wee bit overly expensive. But Cam, I'm jealous, very jealous. And Roman recommended a book for me. You might like. I'll dig it out. It's over here because I've still not read it.
Judge Dredd Funko, $85 on Amazon. Ooh, yeah, that's dear.
That's the one that Roman recommended, and it's on my list for watching. Oh, Howard the Duck! He's got Howard the Duck! Oh my God, I love. See, no matter what people say, Howard the Duck, I enjoyed. I thought it was a fun movie.
I don't know if I've even seen it, but I've heard more about it than I've seen it.
It's not what you would class as highbrow sci-fi, but it's just fun sci-fi. The guy who played Howard was just he looked as if he was having a blast doing it. And it was ridiculous. It's basically you've got the alternate evolution in a different universe where instead of apes, it was ducks. It basically came around, and so you've got a duck, and basically people are actually thinking he's a kid in an outfit, and I'm sitting there thinking that is one hell of an outfit. If that a kid, people think a kid's dressed up like that. But I love Howard the Duck and the Howard the Duck Funko. But I can't believe that's the price of the Judge Dredd Funko. Well done, boy. I'm glad I got it when I got it. My God. $85. Wow. And I'm so jealous of that one, Disaster. So I'll definitely want one, but let's hold on just now because I'm trying to actually get hold of the what. Now you've mentioned the Necronomicon, that's the one that I'm actually aiming for because that sounds great, but it'll be damn expensive. I can tell you that much. Yeah, he does. He played Duck magazine. That's right. It's not a kids movie, but people thought it was made for kids because there's the almost sex scene, the bit where the frills come up. It's not for kids, but because it was Howard the Duck, people thought it was for kids, and I think that's why it bombed because.
Well, they were probably thinking along the lines of Who Framed Roger Rabbit rather than
Well, I think
anything
that's
else.
what it is. And that's what it is. I think so, but I thought Howard the Duck was a fun one. Was it who was in it? She played in was that the one that was in Back to the Future? It was in it. What was the girl?
I can't remember. I mean, I've seen a lot and heard a lot about that film, but I just can't remember who the actress was.
I'm sure it was the one that was in Back to the Future, the first one. Was it her? But I thought it was an absolutely fantastic. Yes, Howard actually reads Playduck magazine, and there's the almost sex scene between Howard and the girl. And
was it Elizabeth Shue that was in both of them?
Sounds right.
Oh no. Oh, that's really
that's a bit of a
that's
thing.
naughty, really. Yeah, because they caused you to spend the money.
That's not nice.
No.
Yeah, that's.
I remember they did that with a few of the figures that I've got, and I ended up with about 6 of one figure, and I kept trying to get them. I ended up just going on eBay and buying it from someone who'd already opened the pack, because you couldn't guarantee what you get, so you were purchasing them and you were getting blind.
That's pretty mercenary, really.
Yeah, and to me, that if you say that I want 6, and somebody actually just puts in 6, and you're getting them blind, but you're not really getting them blind. See, the ones some of the shops do that you're buying a pack, it's sealed, so you don't know what's in it. You're just buying a box. That's fine. But it's the ones who say you're getting them blind, which means they're just picking a box up. But if you're buying 6 and they're going the same box, and still putting them in, really? Do you think they would actually pick up and go, right, he's already got that one, he's not got that one, and that type of thing? That blind, I'm okay with that, but I don't like the ones that just sort of say, buy it. Leah Thompson, that's the one. Leah Thompson's in it.
Okay.
And so she has this sex scene with Howard, sort of sexy-ish. She sort of teases him, and his frill goes up. But it's a fun one, and every time I think about it, I know it's not, but every time I think is the one who turns into the monster at the end. Was it not the guy that played in Ferris Bueller? I keep thinking it was him, the one that played the principal. I don't. There's something about it. It's somebody very similar to him who turns into the monster, or brings the monster forward that Howard has to defeat. They actually wanted to do more movies for Howard, but it bombed, so it got dropped, which is a shame. I'm going to put Howard back onto my watch list. I love Howard the Duck. I think it's just a superb, fun movie. Definitely, if you've not seen it, get a hold of it and watch it. You may actually not like it. You may actually like it. You may actually just love it. I love it. It's the same idea. some people actually think it's the biggest load of junk, which I understand why they think that.
It's a bit of a, sort of a dark comedy, isn't it? It's like it's got a bit of a
it's definitely a dark adult
dark
comedy.
humor.
It's definitely not designed for kids, whereas I think that's where it bombed, because people are expecting it. Because, as Jim was saying, it's because of who framed Roger Rabbit. They were expecting that type of thing, but it wasn't. And also, there was a duck character, so did they think Donald Duck? And I think that's where it failed. People were expecting for kids, and they were told, actually, no, it's got a PG rating. It's not designed for kids. And so people didn't go and see it because they thought it looked like for kids, but when they were told the kids couldn't go and see it, but it's a shame. And I can understand people don't like it. I'm okay with that. I like it. I don't care.
Yeah, well, that's it.
And exactly, we all basically, one of these days, I'm going to actually put Howard the Duck on to the Wednesday nights, and that's what make people watch it.
Yeah, well, I think that's a good idea. Yeah.
But it's one of those
Why
things.
not?
We've all got films like that. What type of film would you class as, other people hate, that you think, wow, I'll keep watching that every day if I could get away with
I have to have a think on that. A film that other people hate.
Or even one that people class as a dud.
Yeah, I'm trying to think. There will be one, but I just can't, like...
There you go. Howard was made by Lucasfilm.
Yeah, that's right. I remember that, yeah.
Because that's why they brought Howard into the Guardians of the Galaxy, because they were wanting to relaunch it. They were talking about a new movie with Howard the Duck. That's why they put him into the Guardians of the Galaxy.
I guess probably a film. It's going to be an old film. It's an old horror film that I suppose other people might think is a bit silly, but it's Killer Shrews. Attack of the Killer Shrews. It's a great old horror movie, and it has James Best in it, who played Sheriff Roscoe on the Dukes of Hazzard.
But I can't even think of it.
Mr. Hyde and I have done it on the. It was one of the first ones we recorded.
Thanks,
on
Roman.
the B Movie Horror Show. It's worth going back and having a look. It is great fun.
Killer Shrews.
That is one of my absolute favorite films of all time. And I think it's because when I first watched it, it was so many years ago. I was really little when I first saw it, and it did frighten me. I mean, it did actually give me nightmares. But when you watch it now, it's very cheesy, but it's still a great movie, and it's worth dialing up that watch stream that we did on it.
Oh, I think I will.
We had good fun watching that one.
I think I definitely will. Because what's the next one you are watching?
Well, last week we recorded the second Kolchak TV movie, so that's airing this Sunday.
I did see
The Night Strangler.
Talk about it. Yeah, that's right. Because I saw it on Facebook.
Yeah,
Kolchak back.
Yes.
Was a thing. Yeah. The reason I was thinking is because I saw someone on Twitter. They were talking about House on Haunted Hill, and somebody says, "Do you think I should watch it?" And I was out and about, so I only saw it on my phone. And I thought, when I got home, I'll need to dig out that tweet and actually dig out the link to when you watched it online.
Yeah.
So I could watch it online and watch his channel.
I'll find it for you now.
It's just I have got it because I've watched it. It was I'm subscribed anyway, so I can actually check all that out. Don't worry about it. I'll find it. Don't worry, because I need to dig it. I was planning to dig it out for tomorrow, so I can find that link in Twitter. It's just it was talking about House and Haunted Hill, and I thought, when's already done that?
Yeah, we've that's a great one.
It's fun to watch, definitely, because it's just one of those ones. Is it worth it? Do you think I should watch it? Yes or no? you know, sometimes everybody puts up something like this movie or this movie, what should I watch? And I just say both. Why watch one when you can watch both? It's different if you're told review one or the other, because the review's a bit different. But if you're just sitting watching it, watch both.
Yeah.
Because I need to actually start doing more reviews. Just basically do even a 5-10 minute review of stuff. Because I watch so much and then I actually forget to mention them. Like The Librarians, I watched the full TV show and the 3 movies. And apart from saying I watched them and they were quite enjoyable, that I never done a review of them. So it's a whole TV movie I've done. A TV show I've done, never mentioned it. I've watched a load of stuff in the last while, and I keep doing that. I just forget to review them because I'm too busy enjoying them. So I'll need to start doing that again and actually get my finger out and do that when I'm at some free time. Because my wife says there's no time for her at the moment because I'm on with Father on a Friday. We're on Wednesday and Saturday. Jed is
Yeah, it's naughty. Yeah.
invited me on Sunday, and then there's the occasional one with Alex on a Tuesday. And she says, "Well, but us?" I says, "Well, you've got Monday and Thursday." Right, okay, you're only eating 2 days then, she says. But yeah,
It's fairly tricky when it comes to finding a good, something that you love that other people don't like. The first one that comes to mind for me is Goon. It has Stifler from American Pie.
Yeah, I think I've seen
as
it.
an ice hockey enforcer. He can't skate, he can't shoot, he can't play the game,
Oh,
but
I know.
he can knock people flat on their butt. But it is an extremely unique niche target. No. It's like you have to love ice hockey. You have to love the history of ice hockey and NHL and all of that stuff. I love it. It's a really, for me, a really fun film.
Has anybody seen Radar Men from the Moon? I've not even heard of it.
No, I don't think
No, I have to admit, Darren might be aware of that one, but that one's not ringing any bells for me.
Yeah,
that sounds promising.
See, that's the thing. See, nowadays you get a movie and the name means nothing unless you see the trailers. Whereas movies like that, you think, oh, that sounds good. Just based on the fact that it's called Radar Men from the Moon. I want that.
They're great. They're loads of fun to watch.
Yeah. Like Attack of the Killer Shrews.
Oh. Absolutely brilliant. And like I said, it's so cheesy. The effects were so cheesy, but when you consider the time that it was made, it's actually very well done, and it genuinely, the pacing is good in it, and it's it is creepy.
Yeah,
it's properly creepy.
I'm going to definitely
1952 black and white serial. No,
that's when films were films and they didn't require, let's just say, meetings to determine if it's good enough or not.
Yes.
Yeah.
Problem.
See, remember we were talking about cheap effects. Remember the classic old cheap effect TV shows you used to watch? Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
You're sitting watching there, and it's the spaceships. You can see it on the wires going, and basically the sparklers behind it, and it's basically doing that. And then something would happen; it'd fall out the spaceship, and then the next week it'd be the same bit, but instead of falling out the spaceship, it would stop at the door. Wait a minute, I was different from last week. Now people would go, this is disgraceful. Look at this. We actually thought we knew Flash would survive.
Oh
yeah, well, again, it was an escape, and it was proper escapism, and that's what we're missing, in a good deal of the TV that we seem to be getting these days.
Yeah,
bring back escapism.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying to the guys. Like Strange New Worlds, Alex been watching it. I can't get myself to watch it because after Enterprise, anything after that has been junk. So I've even the movies. The first movie, I liked the idea of it, and then the second movie, I thought, oh, biggest load of junk. And see, since then, I can't bring myself to watch any Star.
Yeah, we've been the
Because-
same.
And it's even a case of watching Star Wars. I watched the Rogue One, and I thought, oh, that ruined the first movie. What the hell do I want to watch the rest of this for? Because effectively, Princess Leia stopped being the hero who got the envy, and all she did is somebody went, thanks. Here, I've got this. So basically, you took the credit for everybody else. So in effect, they tried to ruin Star Wars, and I just stopped watching it. So I've not watched any of the other Star Wars stuff. So I don't care.
I would say I
never
did
go back to
enjoy
it.
Rogue One, but it wasn't.
No, it was the
That's true.
reason behind it. Sorry, go back to the next talk of good stuff.
I did like Rogue One, but it started to have. Apologies for the background noise. It started to have that whole thing of it doesn't feel like Star Wars anymore.
Yeah.
It was
Rogue-
just starting to fall so flat. They couldn't build on the universe, and then the producers and everybody, oh, we don't have enough background material. It's like, what? You have 50 video games, 200 trillion fan books.
They decanonized all that, so you can't use it because George Lucas has got scenes in it. You want new stuff.
Yeah.
That's the problem. Money, money, money.
Yeah, I know.
But the problem, the thing is, see, once I've walked away from something, I'll not go back to it because there's plenty old stuff that I can watch. I don't need to. So
We're the same.
I was watching Friday Night Tights. And I'm not taking all that. We're talking about Stranger Things. What was season 4 like? Somebody asked, and he says, oh, it's really good. Not as good as the first season. Far better than the second and third season. You should watch. I'm sitting there thinking, why would I have watched season 3? Never mind the end of season 2. Why should I watch season 4 just because it's got good now? I'm not going to go back to something that got so crap that I stopped watching it just because.
I'm just using Breaking Bad for it because so many people said, "Oh, you have to watch it. You have to watch it." And it's like
I hate
it's junk.
That killed me. That Breaking Bad. Everybody kept saying, "Watch the next season. It's better. Watch the next season. It's better." I watched all four seasons, and see by the end of it, I was glad they all got killed, and I wish they all died in the first episode. I was so scunnered. Everybody tell me how fantastic Breaking Bad was, and to me, it was a waste. I would have rather watched The Phantom Menace, Return of the Jedi, Rogue One again, or Strange New Worlds, or even bloody Catwoman, rather than that Breaking Bad. I would. That's how bad I thought Breaking Bad was. It's as bad as everybody's talking about the current stuff is. And anytime, that's why I went out for a while. I would not watch something, and if somebody recommended, unless I've heard about it from multiple sources. But it depends.
It comes down to
it depends
walk
who
it.
recommends it.
Yeah, it comes down to making up your own
Yeah.
own sort of mind with things.
Yeah.
But it's helpful to hear other people's views on it for sure, particularly people whose views that you respect and that tend to sort of align with yours. But at the same time, sometimes it's good to just take a little chance and see, see what you think about it.
Since Breaking Bad, anytime this one person recommends something, I know to avoid it. I will not watch it because they recommended Breaking Bad and told me it was the greatest thing since sliced bread. And I didn't even like Better Call Saul, although I think Saul Goodman was the best character in Breaking Bad. But I didn't watch Better Call Saul because Breaking Bad scunnered me so much. I ain't watching anything that's tied to it. Doesn't matter how.
Missed all that. Yeah.
I'm a miserable old git, and I'm okay with that.
Yeah, we missed all that, but there's so much that we're trying to watch now. I mean, it's just there's not a lot of time really left to see things that I'm kind of about. I have to be really into it.
Peter Cooting, Dudley Moore doing
Thunder
Stingray.
I'm not I'm not going to show the entire clip. It's just the opening, especially with the models, that makes you laugh. So I'll just give it a play.
All right.
Yeah. All right.
Aww. Is that a hand?
Yeah.
Come on.
I love it.
Flipper Thundersting car is go!
Oh, that's so cute.
So you say about Flash Gordon, they really know how to play that out.
Yeah,
That's
that
exactly
is too
what it was
funny.
based on the Flash Gordon. That's what they did that for. And I must admit, that just looked fun. But it's the fact is, I remember watching, and it was just a good laugh.
Yeah.
Watching Big Mate, and yes, we were on when we were younger. We were on the edge of our seat. But a Saturday morning to me was the be all and end all of the week. Didn't care about anything else that was on, but see Saturday morning, watching Champion the Wonder Horse, Skippy, Flipper. Oh God, there was the Spanish ones as well. You remember?
Zorro?
There was Spanish
Oh,
ones that were dubbed.
I think I know
the
what you mean.
Cities
It
of
wasn't
Gold.
Zorro. It was different. It was the
Yeah, you
cartoon.
had the City of Gold. Yes, you had Zorro as well. You had all
Montezuma,
those.
I believe it was called, like Curse of Montezuma or
Casey
something.
Jones was on as well. I remember growing up watching all that, and that was to me my Saturday morning.
Yeah.
See, if it wasn't for the likes of Buck Rogers and Flash Gordon's
The
model
flashing
effects,
blade. Thank you very much, Disaster Area. That's what it was. The flashing blade. That was dubbed. Even I knew it was dubbed because they would go, yes.
Yeah.
And it was fun to watch. But the thing is, the story was still really good.
Yeah. But what I was trying to explain is that if it wasn't for like the model effects from Flash Gordon, other sci-fi programs, and Buck Rogers, we wouldn't have got what they did in the 70s and the 80s and also the 60s in improving model effects work. And that same goes for like Jerry Anderson and all. It just
But
goes
they
to show
already
that,
had improved the model work. It was because of the cost as well.
I know.
Because you look at things like Kong.
Yes.
King Kong. That was
Ray
model work.
Harryhausen.
The Mighty Joe Young model work.
Yeah, I used to watch that with my dad.
Yeah, I mean, they were some of the fantastic models. And of the time, you look at even them, the giant ants, those models were, yes, they looked a bit cumbersome, but they still looked great for the time when they were doing it. The bit where the ant comes up and dumps out the skeletons. Yeah, I mean, so it gave you the apart from anything else, the size. Then the ants coming crashing through and grabbing somebody and dragging them out. It's those figures were for the time really well done.
Yeah.
Whereas now they would just do them in CGI. They wouldn't even actually have. They would have a guy walking in, grabbing somebody and pulling them out, and it would be all green screen, so they could actually. They would CGI a giant ant in there.
This is why when I listen to some like all the old classic 80s and 70s documentaries and listen to the audio commentary, they say, yeah, this was all done precisely. No CG available back then.
Yep.
And the amount of work you have to put into it. It's the same with stunts. Now you just can get away with it.
Yeah. Well, you look at the stunts, Lost in Space as well. I loved Lost in Space.
Yeah.
See, I watched it. What was the Japanese cartoon? Because you could always tell they were Japanese because the eyes were enormous. And it was dubbed. It was about the undersea. It was Aqualad. Aquaboy.
Aquaman.
Eh?
You mean Aquaman?
Was it Aquaman? But there was the one that was the wee boy.
Oh no!
Wide eye. That was a Saturday morning one, because I remember there were Japanese cartoons that were dubbed, same idea. Because I obviously watched all the Godzilla stuff as well because I was aware.
You're not talking about Astro Boy, are you?
Astro Boy.
Yeah.
Astro Boy. That was the one. I knew it was something boy, but I couldn't remember if it was Aqua Boy or thing. And I'm obviously he's been getting that. But I remember watching all those, and I loved my Saturdays. My Saturdays was my highlight. Didn't play sport, still don't. Any like any Marine Boy. It could have been Marine. See, the thing is, there was 2 or 3 Japanese ones. It might have actually been Marine Boy because it was an underwater one. So I think that could be it. But the thing is, there was so much on a Saturday. I woke up 8 o'clock because there was no TV at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, 7. It had to, boom, starting the morning. Good morning. The first program will be. It was none of that. So 8 o'clock, I would get up. 8 o'clock, TV would be on, and I'd be sitting there. Right, it's about it's that. So that would be me every Saturday morning. My brother would be away playing football with his school, and I'd be sitting there going, I ain't going out. Yeah, I mean, and I would watch it until 12 o'clock, and that's when Grandstand and all that come on. And my dad would be saying, right, get to buggery because I'm watching the sports now. It's getting ready for all the sports programs coming on. And it's, to me, a Saturday was just superb. It's the same as coming home from school. You got between up until 6 o'clock programs because after 6 o'clock, Neighbours came on. That's and then there was Coronation Street and EastEnders, EastEnders as well later on. But when I was growing up, it was a case of I could watch the programmes. I could come in and watch Dr. Snuggles. I could come in and watch Star Trek. I could come in and watch Doctor Who, whatever was on up until about 6:30, I think it was.
And it is a great shame that on terrestrial TV these days that you don't have like the kids programs anymore.
No, you get
CITV, CBBC, all gone.
I know, but the problem was, I think the reason they're gone is because they were junk.
Yeah.
I never let my kids growing up, watch Teletubbies. I want my kids to actually watch something that they can learn how to speak. Not going to go, bug off.
That looked like a bad trip.
Exactly. I want my kids to watch something where the people are talking and they're watching it.
I don't know what they were thinking with that show.
Whatever happened to, what was it? What was the one with the doors on it? The triangle.
Play School.
Yeah, Play School, Cracker Jack. Tis Was.
Oh, I love Tis Was. Even Noel Edmonds' Multicolour Swap Shop was fun. Yeah. Because I would flick backwards and forwards. That was the thing. I was a Tis Was boy, but I would switch over because I wanted to see what people were swapping. In case I swap, can I phone in, Mum? Can I phone in? Because I've got one of them and I want that.
You just don't get that anymore. That's the problem.
No, I know you get, and it's basically the stuff you're getting is stuff we were watching, so it's repeats, but it's not the originals. It's junk remakes, which is unfortunate because it is just a junk remake. So if they want to actually say Hector's House or the Magic Roundabout, you're getting a junk remake of the Magic Roundabout, and you're sitting there thinking, that's not the same because you're not allowed to see. There's Zebedee and there's this and that. You're not allowed to say those words now. Fuck off. They're words.
I just dropped a link for you, PJ, in the private chat. We had Dr. Snuggles too. 79, good old days. And this is just pure nostalgia.
I'll put the mute on just now, but right, let's see, share. And I'll put the audio on as well. Anybody remember that? Let's see. It's on YouTube, so we should be able to actually fire it up. I remember this. I used to come in from school. But do you know age? Do you know age we were when we were watching that? And I'm talking about a load of the guys in school. not just and a lot of the girls in school would watch that. Guess what age we were? Right, that's like 1979, the intro, right?
Yeah, I remember that I was crawling always toward the TV when this came on. And my mom was always lifting me up and like hauling me back to the back of the room. It's like, no, you're going to go blind if you go that close to the
Yep.
TV.
We were in secondary school. I finished secondary school in 1981. So I was 14 watching that. And there would be a load of us guys, some of the ones you would sit there thinking, you're a nutcase. Aye, but I like Dr. Snuggle. We would go home and watch that, and then we would talk about it in school the next day, and you're sitting there thinking, really? 14-year-olds watching that? Yep, we all did.
PJ, did you mention about D'Artagnan and the Three
And the
Musketeers?
Musketeers. I got the DVD last week. That was the one.
They've only just done a movie.
Either
That came out last year. Yeah, I've just seen the trailer. Do you want to watch the trailer?
Is it, how bad is it?
It's CG, but I think it's more of a kids' movie.
We could
It's up to
do
you.
that.
It's up to you.
But disaster area. Yes, I remember Spit the Dog and Cough the Cat. I was a Tiswas boy.
Actually, I put it in private chat for you.
But Dr. Snuggers, I've keeping that on the screen because I'm going to watch that.
What was the name of that TV show you mentioned ages ago to me?
See that again?
You mentioned another TV show ages ago to me, didn't you, Jim? Can't remember the actual name.
Jordan on the Wheelies.
Must have been on one of our private chats.
Yeah.
I recall us talking about it. It was a lot of interest that we had similarly, like overlapping. I grew up far north, and you had the similar ones. And I do find it so amazing. It's like, hang on.
Do you remember
this is
Ivor the Engine?
pre-internet.
You remember Ivor the Engine?
I also remember
Yes, Darren has shown me that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember Ivor the Engine.
I remember Trumpton.
Trumpton.
Yeah.
Pew, pew, Ballymacrew, Cuthbert, Dibble and Grub. Yeah. And they actually had the soldiers were the same soldiers in Trumpton as they were in Camberwick Green, because the firemen were Pew, pew, Ballymacrew, Cuthbert, Dibble and Grub.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a shame what happened to Postman Pat. He lost his job at the Royal Mail.
We may run into
Wendy Miller.
Yeah.
I used to work with a girl called Wendy Miller. We used to take the mickey because Wendy Miller.
we may run into copyright area, but I highly doubt it. I haven't seen this in years. It's available all over the YouTube. We might save it, but favorite cartoon intro theme for me growing up, it was this one that I've just dropped in the private chat.
We will look at D'Artagnan and the Three Musketeers. So
plenty of time for that.
Yeah, plenty of time.
I never saw this. I did see it advertised, but I never saw it. I can honestly say I never saw it. So
yeah, I'm gonna hunt down another one that I remember from early 80s.
Oh yeah, I remember this.
This has the best intro ever of any cartoons. I don't care if you like He-Man or Transformers. This one is rocking them all.
1, 2, 3, 4. Dinosaur. He's my friend and a whole lot more. Dinosaur shows me a world I never saw before. From the hot jungle a long time ago comes a cool friend like Al Dino.
can anybody else?
That's awesome.
I've never even heard it. I remember the title, the Denver the Last Dinosaur, but I'd never seen an episode, so I'd never heard the music.
Find one now.
It is fairly brilliant, and I was hooked. I was absolutely hooked because you have this teenage school kids comes across a dino egg that has been pushed out of a big lake tar pit thingy, and it hatches a dinosaur. And typical, like, shall we say, E.T., the extraterrestrial. Alf, yes, they had to keep him, or what, try to keep him hidden.
Harry and the Hendersons. It's the same idea. Right across the board.
Yeah.
We'll
That is essentially what it is.
Uh-huh. But even
Right, here we
those
go.
were all fun. Right, let's have a look at D'Artagnan and the Three Muskehounds, shall we? Hold on a sec.
How,
Right, here we go.
how much have they ruined it?
Don't.
My son, the time has come for you to become
A muskehound! Yahoo!
This summer, it's time to be.
They've already ruined it with that part.
Yeah.
They've already ruined it with that part because yes, he was a kid and it was dad thingy, but it wasn't a woohoo, look at me.
Yeah.
It was a case of he was a bit more mature, shall we say.
I know.
Ruined it. Look at that one. Captain Pugwash. Loved Captain Pugwash. And it is a fallacy. There was never Shaft the cat and Roger the cabin boy. People automatically assumed it was a bit rude. It was Jamie the cabin boy. It was not Roger the cabin boy, and it wasn't Shaft the cat. No matter what people are actually saying, but it was Jamie the cabin boy. Right, anyway.
Begin my career as a muskehound.
Everyone's favorite hero.
I am D'Artagnan of Tarbes.
Hits the big screen.
Onward, Sandy! To Paris! Giddy up! Come on! Hurry up! Giddy up! Come on! Giddy up! Come on! Come on! Come on!
They've already made him a fool. They've already made him a fool, an arse.
D'Artagnan was very competent,
and he was mature.
naive and young.
He was mature, so he wasn't. Although he was meant to be young, he was for his age. He was mature. That's why he got sent off on his own to the big city. Not a big kid who didn't know how to ride a horse or start a horse or whatever they're trying to do with it. No,
he already had a lot of these skills. And if you look at the 1993 Musketeers with Oliver Sutherland, MacDonald,
Roy
what was his name? I love him as a villain, but I remember him mainly from
Shogun. Shogun. It was Shogun.
No, not that
Richard
one. It's the
Chamberlain.
Rocky Horror Picture Show.
Was
What's
it not
his name?
Tim Curry?
Tim Curry.
I thought it was
Tim Curry is amazing. Tim Curry is literally the equivalent
of
a good villain in a cartoonish way that Alan Rickman is in Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves. I'll cut his heart out with a spoon.
Richard Chamberlain.
Yeah,
that was Man in the Iron Mask.
I thought he played in one of the Three Musketeer movies as Richelieu. I thought he played in Richelieu as Richelieu. And look at this. Fart jokes.
Come on!
Fart jokes.
Join D'Artagnan.
Yes,
All my life I have dreamed of.
It's obviously aimed at kids, but come on, fart jokes.
Yeah, no thanks.
Exactly.
Kids should be a little bit older before they get the whole fart jokes.
Coming here.
I have a feeling this is
legendary Muskehounds.
I've come to join you. Allow me to fight by your side.
On their mission.
The fool will never survive the day. This is gonna be messy.
To protect the king.
Why is your life in danger?
The Cardinal wants a war between France and England so he can dominate all of Europe.
I will have.
Isn't that really surprising? Does that the girl?
Is that supposed to be Lady De Winter?
No, it's meant to be Lady De Winter's maid. Because there's no way that's meant to be Lady De Winter. That's meant to be her maid. Do you think? Could be Lady De Winter, I suppose, but she's actually cooking for them. So no, that's why I didn't see it as Lady De Winter.
I will have more power than ever.
Let him try. I will not permit it.
Here is our plan. We fight, and we win, and dinner.
I like this plan. To arms!
Get ready
What are you waiting for? On guard!
for the biggest adventure of the year.
That cargo will not succeed, so swears D'Artagnan.
Yeah, I mean, assuming that's meant to be thing, but
Yeah,
no,
that's a hard pass on that one.
a very, very hard pass. I just can't even actually finish.
Yeah, I just dropped one in the private chat and in the stream chat. Does anybody remember Underdog? I don't know if that came over here.
Underdog.
There's a link to
It wasn't a big thing over here, but we had heard about it.
We heard about it too in the far north, but I will say that the thing here, it feels that they very much try to. I don't know the way to place it. They try to cartoonize the Oliver Kiefer, the 1993 film. Felt like they tried to cartoonize it.
Yeah.
Yes,
Because
one was a glutton and one was
in that movie.
Yeah.
He died filming it, and they had to actually sort of mess around to finish off the movie because he played their dog's body.
Yeah.
Roy Kinnear. He was a fantastic actor. He was a good comedy actor.
But I would say it for anyone that listens in, and if you want a matinee kind of film, there is no blood, there's no gore. Yes, people die, people fall, people get hurt, but there is chase, there's actions, there's dangers and everything. It's literally like the Star Wars 1977. Yes, there is a lightsaber, someone gets an arm cut off, but the violence is kept to a minimum. I would highly recommend The Musketeers from the 1993, and believe it or not, it's actually a Disney production. And it is cheeky, it's funny, it's keeping active whilst it's also keeping pace. It's not just, it has to be an explosion every 10 seconds to keep you, keep the audience paying attention and not like swipe left on Tinder.
Yeah. Well, I'm going to share one with you to brighten and cheer everyone up.
I've got one here first.
Okay.
Right.
When criminals in this world appear and bring the law to fear and frighten all who see or hear the crackles of the fire in here for underdog. Underdog. Speed of lightning, roar of thunder, fighting all our thunder.
Oh, I remember this one.
See, the thing is, I don't remember it, but I think I know what it spawned in the UK.
Oh, yeah.
I remember this one because this one was next to, and I will probably misremember this, but we had at the same time Super Granny.
Super Gran, yeah, you had Super Gran, Molly Weir, Super Gran. But you also had Danger Mouse.
Yes.
Danger Mouse.
You see that I have the collection.
Yeah. And the other one I remember was this always, what was the other one that you had? Danger Mouse?
I've just shared it in the private chat.
I'm just trying to remember what the other one it actually reminded me of. Superb.
I would have given for that when I was a kid.
Fantastic. I guess so it is. But yeah, but there was two things I think this spawned, and Danger Mouse was one of them. Yeah, Super Gran, I suppose, but there was another one. What was it?
Was it Count?
Batfink.
Oh, Batfink. Yeah, I remember that.
Remember Batfink?
Yeah.
To me, that was something that they tried to copy, but sort of change. So you had Batfink, who was like a Batman, whereas Underdog was more of a Superman.
Mm.
Then you had Batfink, which was a Batman figure, and I think that was something that came from that. And that's when I was watching it, I was thinking, because I'd heard about Underdog and I had roughly known what it was about a super dog. And then when I saw Batwing, I thought, that's a Batman character. Is that like, they try to do what they're doing for Underdog? And I don't know if that was right, but that's what I thought.
Wasn't there a Basil Mouse kind of cartoon that was meant for kids, but it was supposed to be Sherlock Holmes?
Basil. There was Basil the Great Mouse Detective.
Yes, that's the one. He was also around the same time, I believe.
Yeah, that was a Disney movie, wasn't it?
Yes, it was.
It definitely had the feeling of
because you had Ratigan
Adventures
instead
Down
of
Under.
Moriarty. Ratigan. I'm just actually trying to get it because see these bloody adverts, 15, 20-minute adverts without a cut option. Right, let's see. Count
the adverts are
Duckula.
a pain.
Count Duckula, you.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I love that show.
Hong Kong Phooey as well. That was really good.
That is the one I was thinking. Hong Kong Phooey. Because of the dog. That's what it was.
Oh, yeah.
Home for many centuries to a dreadful dynasty of vicious vampire.
I love that voice.
Legend has it that these foul beings can be destroyed by a stroke through the heart or exposure to sunlight. This does not suffice, however, for they may be brought back to life by means of a secret rite that can be performed once a century when the moon is in the air. Blood. I'll get it! Latest reincarnation did not run according to plan.
In the heart of Transylvania, in the vampire hall of fame,
love the theme.
You are my beast of man, cause he's a vegetarian, and thinks that I'm black. If you're looking for some fun, you can.
That's great.
Count Duckula was fun. I was never a fan of Count Duckula. I had seen a couple of episodes, but I preferred mine's Hugh doing Louis, and I preferred Darkwing Duck.
Darkwing Duck, yeah, I remember that one.
Remember Daffy Duck, Darkwing Duck. Boom.
Yes, that was funny. I like your icon, by the way, PJ.
Yeah,
got an Independence Day going on there.
Our friends in the US,
America.
4th of July.
It's a big weekend in America.
Happy Pride MAGA Pride
You got to keep them straight now, because I know we got here in UK we're gonna get the second Pride Month this year.
This is a MAGA Pride
it sounds weird,
but I see it as more of a grooming month, because if you've got kids there and there are people flashing them, that's grooming. That's not Pride.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't mean to imply anything, but
no, actually, different. That's what I'm saying. It's different. That was when it was Pride. Now it's no longer about Pride. It's about flashing kids, and it's no longer Pride.
Look at the big corporations. Like, okay,
they
have the backdrop, and
then
did
you
boom,
see that?
The month changed. Boom, it's
did you see it? Basically, literally, it was half a minute to 12, and then and as soon as it hit 12, they went to all the same sites, and their icons had changed automatically. They basically, right, we'll finish it. But no,
it's just you should never rob. Yeah.
I've been to some of the prides in Glasgow, and they were never as bad. They were never bad. They were just. It was just
I have absolutely zero issue with it.
No, but it's
the hypocrisy of the companies that are going, oh, hey, look, we do this, and then it's like literally the minute it ends, they're out.
Something else. But it's the fact is the Pride Month. I'd been to a couple of the Pride Months, Pride parades in Glasgow, and they were fun. Basically, people having fun, but. I've seen ones around the globe, UK, America and everywhere, and they're not proud. They're flashing with when they know there's kids. It's not a case of somebody brought kids and they didn't know. They know there's kids there because there was a drive to people to bring their children, and then they're flashing them. And
Yeah,
people
I
are
do not.
flashing them. To me, that's not being pride. That is grooming.
I don't like it at all. But if you are supporting or saying, "Hey, I firmly believe in the British values of liberty.
Mm-hmm.
You have the right to do whatever you want and everything, and I'll support you." It's not just 1 month I'll support you out of a year.
Mm-hmm.
I'll support you 12 months out of every year. And I don't like this whole virtue signaling stuff. I don't. But I was just going to say, let's bring it back to more fun stuff. And I'll ask this question. If you get stuck on an island and you only get one cartoon show from your childhood, which would that be? And I'm saying cartoon because that will eliminate, I'm sorry, Alex, you
Thunderbirds,
can't take Thunderbirds. It has to be
I wasn't going to say Thunderbirds.
Exactly, but we do have a very diverse mix here.
Yeah.
We have United States, we have technically
Australia.
also Wales.
We've got New Zealand.
Exactly.
Well, we had New
Also
Zealand.
that.
I don't know if the Cockney's still around, but yeah, we've got the States, we've got New Zealand, we've got.
Just share that. What was the one cartoon? Don't care how long it is or what it was, but let's just see what you would go as like, okay, this I would actually endure. Being Tom Hanks with a volleyball stuck on an island for several years. This is the only TV show you'll have from your childhood.
Mine's easy.
I think mine's actually fairly easy as well.
I've already mentioned it.
You're talking about, and see, that would have been my first choice, but because you've mentioned Hong Kong Phooey, number one super guy. That's I always loved Hong Kong Phooey.
Yeah, Underdog would be mine.
Yeah, I've got Hong Kong Phooey up my shelf, so I have. I love Hong Kong Phooey.
Alex looks prepared.
Dragon Ball.
Dragon Ball Z. Yeah.
Do you know how many episodes there are?
It's like 190 or something. It's like a
More
silly number.
like over 300 now because you've got how many series of it at the moment? So you can start from the beginning and go along.
For me, it would be Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles.
Of course, yeah.
Tales in a Half Shell.
I used to love that one as well.
Yes.
Love the theme song.
Connors, the legendary
Heroes on the Half Shell.
Hong Kong
Turtle Power.
Basically, that's the thing. There was so much to choose from. Underdog, all-time favourite. Also, Huckleberry the Hound. I loved Huckleberry the Hound.
Yeah.
I have others. I have Tomcat. I have Garfield.
Top Cat.
Matt Yogi.
See, it was Top Cat. Top Cat.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
The theme songs just stay with you.
So many. Huckleberry the Hound, I did. And see, Danger Mouse, David Jason.
Yes.
Penfold.
No, you didn't do Penfold. That was Terry Scott.
Danger Mouse. Who played Penfold? Was it
Terry Scott?
Terry Scott. That's what it was. Terry Scott from Terry and June.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've got an Underdog Kolchak connection for you.
Oh.
Yes, there's an actor in the Kolchak TV movie that we're going to be talking about this, that we pre-recorded that's going to premiere this Sunday, tomorrow. His name is Wally Cox, and he's in this particular episode of Kolchak. And if you listen to his voice, you'll notice that he sounds incredibly like Underdog's voice, and it's the same actor who actually voiced Underdog.
Superb. They did a movie, Underdog, didn't they? Quite recently.
Yeah, I think Disaster mentioned in the chat it was 2007. I just wanted nothing to do with that. I wasn't interested.
I said in the last 15 years, so it was 15 years ago.
Yeah, it wasn't. I was just like, no. There's only one underdog. Thank you.
No.
Well, just like D'Artagnan, are they bringing back all the classics and just ruining them now?
Well, they can because they do not know how to actually write something new. So they basically, somebody says, right, you're getting sacked unless you give us a good idea. Okay, Underdog, I used to watch that as a kid. Let's bring that back. Oh, good, you're not sacked. It's literally these people just no idea. They just can't think of anything new. It's a case of, that was really good. Let's bring that back, but change it. Then why are you bringing it back if it was so good? If you're changing it, so it's suddenly no longer what you were bringing back.
Mm-hmm. It's just about the money.
What was that one?
They don't seem to get it.
Hanna-Barbera. I've got the Hanna-Barbera complete collection somewhere in an old hard drive. It was somebody gave me a hard drive with the Hanna-Barbera complete collection, and I've got it in a hard drive because I didn't want to get rid of the hard drive. I didn't want to copy it in case I actually messed it up because there was so much on it. I have got it somewhere, but it's not in a hard drive I've got around because it was completely packed with everything. I don't even know if I've got a driver. Well, a reader for what it was, because it wasn't like MP4s or anything like that. It was some weird format.
The old school one, MPEG TAC 1 or something. But,
something like that, yes. So it was an old format, so I don't even know if I've got a reader for it. So I would need to dig out the hard drive and go from there.
Yeah,
I could probably help you offline to try and give you one, but
no, we need to dig
something
out
I had as a kid was, this is 1985 or something, and they were inviting the youngest school children to go on like a live TV show and demonstrate the knowledge about a particular topic.
Yeah,
and it could be anything. And I loved Bugs Bunny cartoons and all of that back in the day.
Oh, yeah.
He was the voice actor behind it. He's the one that is known to be the man with 1,000 voices.
Mel Blanc.
Mel Blanc, yes. And I actually had a Betamax cassette with a 2-hour interview of him describing what he was doing, everything. And I was lining up and getting ready for it. But it turned out that the broadcasting company did not accept cartoons as a knowledgeable subject.
Oh, God. It's back already. These pornos are actually bouncing straight away. So they are. I just got rid of a load and there's another load back.
Now, if only we could get them to like, share, and subscribe. But
where they're sharing it, that's the thing. What they're sharing.
Well, we may not want to associate ourselves with what they're sharing, but
and anyway, they don't actually class it as like, share, and subscribe. It's lick. Stare. Like staring.
Oh, I'm certain they do a lot worse than that.
Gotta get another load in now.
Yeah.
Anyway, Wendy, you did mention about that Underdog movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Disney's fault. So don't let Disney get hold of these products.
No, I just, as soon as I saw that they remade it, I didn't even care who remade it. I was just like, it's live action. What?
Yeah,
what? No, thank you.
Is that Shredder?
No, that's
Splinter. Sorry, not Shredder.
Yeah,
Splinter.
I do the same thing, PJ. I always confuse those two.
I know. I always do the same.
Shredder.
No, it's the names. Its names are just so similar. You go and see one, and then the other one comes out. It's
Splinter. I loved Splinter.
It's me trying to make sure that he's coming into like a.
He's cool.
That's a good figure. That's a nice figure.
He is really cool. Yeah.
He comes with pizza slice, and he also has the goo. He has a nunchuck over here, which he stole from Michelangelo, because obviously he defeats Shredder at the end of the first film with Michelangelo's nunchuck. So it's got plenty of it, and yes, he can articulate, so you can do all kinds of setup.
Yeah.
But yes, allow me a couple of seconds, and I will actually put Shredder on the shelf.
Yeah, Shredder was the villain. He was the villain. Yeah.
Well.
Yeah, that was a really fun cartoon.
Yeah.
And again, another one with a great theme tune.
Mm-hmm. Oh, aye, definitely. Cam, yeah, I could probably transfer it, but I've put the hard drive away. I would need to dig it out and see what I've got, and then find out what format and what reader I can get. The good thing is, at least I know it's a PC disc, because I used to have a Mac, and it is not a Mac disc. If it was a Mac disc, I would have been knackered, because I wouldn't be able to get it back. But it's all to do with finding the disc, because it is somewhere in my room.
Buried.
Tomorrow I'm actually going to tidy wee bits out, because I'm going to see my grandson, and I've got all his stuff, and it's sitting all over there. So that'll take.
Wait! You're telling me it's not on your spreadsheet?
No, that's basically old stuff. We're talking about old school. And I've actually finished transferring all my 1,000. How many movies? Let's see. How many movies is that? I've transferred my 1,300 movies onto my database. Keep going. So it's only 1,130 movies onto my database, and that includes actors, directors, descriptions, images, and everything onto it. And now I've moved on to my TV shows, and I've had to add to my database. So it's got, and then I've got all my VHS. I've already started transferring. I've got a load more to do, but at least I've done my movies, because it's mainly movies. But eventually, when I do dig out the hard drive, I'll start watching them if I can find a drive. But I will actually think it's all to do with how it was read. Nowadays, most things are MOV files or MP4s or MKVs. So there's a format that some reader can read, but these are the old ones that at the time you used to need a specific reader to read them at the time, and it's an old reader. So try to find something that's an emulator might be better than a reader, because readers might not read it properly because it's in the old format. You might have to put it through an emulator with the reader. Which I've got an emulator for DOS, because I use XCOM Terror from the Deep. Still play that on an emulator. None of this new stuff. I'm sticking to the old stuff.
Have we done a pick of the week yet? Or...
We have not. Why don't we actually flick to that? All right, hold on. I just need to make sure I've got these. And we'll go to this. Pick of the week. So, who wants to go first?
Me. Because I've only got one.
You've only got one. You go first.
Went to my local Asda today. This is the last time I'm going to buy anything from Pick of the Week, because money's tight, and also I've got a few things to save up, plus a new computer. So, but today I went out and bought the director's cut.
Commando.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
I picked up an Arnold Schwarzenegger thing today.
And that's the Blu-ray. That's very nice.
Yeah. I picked up an Arnold Schwarzenegger thing today as well.
Oh yes.
Very
yeah,
good.
Commando doesn't get a lot of love. It's a great film. I haven't seen that one in ages, because I tend to sort of I'm such a Predator fan that I could watch Predator like every day. I used to be able to like basically recite the entire movie.
Can I just say something? When lockdown was announced, someone redid this picture and had him holding toilet rolls instead.
I think I saw that one. It was on.
Yeah.
Twitter.
But yes, Commando, that's the last time I'm buying for pick of the week, I'm afraid, until hopefully that goes. Yeah.
See, that's why I go to the charity shop, because I'm saving the money I used to save to buy stuff. My grandson gets them.
But before you demonize me,
I've also got this. And it is a wee tin, and it's got his pocket money in it.
If Jim's going to show his turtles off, I'm going to get me Optimus Prime out.
Oh yes, I remember this one.
Oh,
this is awesome.
I liked your build of this, Alex.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
That is, I would highly recommend it, because it's kind of therapeutical to see it come all together.
Yeah, that's a good thing about Lego, when you're actually building stuff and you're doing it in bits and pieces and bringing it together more
I'm
and
going
more.
to do some modifications to him, because I found out there's a way to bend the knees so I can pose it more.
Oh,
yeah,
cool.
so the Lego box does not bend the knees.
You get a heat gun and you melt all the Lego and then it'll bend. Easy.
Nah, there's a way to like move the joints around, so I'm going to try and do it that way.
Right. So what I'll do is I'll go next. You'll see why in a minute. Right. This is something I got last week and I forgot to bring it forward. And I really like them. And I got it nice and cheap.
Oh, Colossus.
Oh, wow.
There was a number of figures.
Oh,
Colossus
nice.
was the only one I was interested in. They had Wanda, they had Batgirl, and it wasn't the good ones. And they had even, is it X-23?
Mm-hmm.
Didn't like, no interest. The one that was there was Colossus. And
I'm not as familiar with him. I know of him, but I'm not as familiar.
He was in the
X-Men cartoons. He was in the X-Men
Oh,
cartoons.
X-Men.
And he was also
Okay.
in the movie. He's also in the movie with
Deadpool.
Yeah. He's in the Deadpool movie.
I haven't
That's
seen the
Colossus.
Deadpool films yet, believe it or not.
Yeah. So that is a great wee figure. And I'm happy with that.
I kind of like the introduction when Deadpool is trying to like
higher
double clock him.
So I only got 4 DVDs, right? And I'll show you the first one. It's a double. And it says that the reason I went next is because
yes. I'm definitely with Gwen on this one.
That was why. As soon as, you
absolutely love that film.
Yeah.
Nice one, Jim.
He's got a trilogy.
Oh, and Alex, yeah, very nice.
Yeah,
I love Predator.
I picked it up today. I just thought it was like me when you were talking about the Commander, and I thought I picked up a Schwarzenegger one, and then
but they're the two.
I'm a Predator girl. I thought
they're the two best ones ever. That's what
they definitely are.
Yeah,
and I got there's one at the end. Most people will maybe heard about it, and especially in this panel and in the chat, but a lot of people would never have heard it. But this is how about that one? Kirk Douglas, Singer Berg, but it's also John Wayne in it, even though he's not actually. He's there.
Yeah,
but he's not.
But his name's not appearing in it.
Is that your printer at the back?
Yeah.
Attention to the chat, please.
Yeah, but it's what I'm saying. But John Wayne's name doesn't appear above it.
How interesting.
It was. So I picked that up because it's A, John Wayne, and B, it's a word movie. And I picked up another part in my Only Fools and Horses collection, and it's the Heroes and Villains.
Yay!
Yay! I love that episode.
Oh,
yeah,
yes,
that
absolutely.
is just superb. So there's 3 episodes in this, and it's the Heroes and Villains one. So look forward to that one. And the last one, I was surprised I found this. I've been looking for this for a wee while, and there's the Pawns back again.
Yeah, I already did a little bit what I could from my end, report and blog. Roald Dahl's The Tale of the Unexpected.
Yeah,
very nice.
Absolutely brilliant.
3 stories, and they're based on Roald Dahl's.
Mm-hmm.
And it's by Network. It's by Network, who's releasing a lot of good old DVDs and Blu-rays.
But see, when I saw that, I thought, wow, Tales of the Unexpected. I've been looking for one of some Tales of the Unexpected. I remember watching that as a kid, and it used some of the stuff would freak me out. I remember there was the one about the guy who was a bit of a gambler, and the guy came up and he says to him, "If you like to gamble, we'll do this." And he had his fingers taped down to the deck, and he had a knife over his thumb, and he's saying, "Right, you told me your lighter would light in everyone. Every time it fails to light, I cut off a finger. And if you can do it 5 times in a row and 10 light to 10, then he offered him a lot of money. He says, you can have my car, you can have my house and all this." And then just before he did it, a woman, his wife, walks in and says, "No, this ain't happening." And the guy goes, "Why?" And she held up her hand and she had 2 fingers and a thumb. And she says, "He owns nothing." So she went through the gambling with her husband to win everything to stop him doing this with people. And it just freaked me out. It was a really, really good story.
That's
it was
a
all
bit
about
dark.
them, but when it came in, it was the woman. And basically, she turned around and says, "He owns nothing." And she had 2 of her fingers gone. And I thought, wow, imagine having the guts to do that.
Oh, God, yeah, I don't even like to think about that.
And so that Tales of the Unexpected stuck with me because of the type of things like that. And it was just superb.
It sort of reminds me of a few of the John Hurt's Tale of the Crypt. Tales from the Crypt.
Idea. Some of them were, ooh.
But some of them were really like, holy crap. You were gray-haired as like a 6-year-old kid.
Yep.
I will say, because this is modern audience and everything, my mom had no issues with me watching people dismembering other people in Star Wars and everything when I was like 3 years old. She just put the Betamax in, and it's like, I had to go to work. Here you have 3 hours entertainment. Sit in front of the TV. I'll be right back.
Yeah. Whereas my mum would have issues with me watching that. But in all fairness, my father would turn around and says, "You just sit and let him watch that so-and-so movie." And it was a typical 70s movie, women stunting around with their boobs out. And he says, "And you don't want him to watch a Frankenstein horror movie?" I think I was rather watching the Frankenstein horror, because he's not going to get up to anything thinking, I wonder if we can actually build a Frankenstein monster. I think he's more likely to get into trouble watching those movies that you're okay with. So I got to watch horror movies because of the 70s, even the Sweeney stuff like that. You would see the Sweeney, Stargate, stuff like that. The TV show, it was all boobs and butts and stuff like that. And Frankie Howard, up Pompeii and stuff like that. My mum was quite happy me sitting watching that. But if a horror came on, really? As my dad's attitude was, really? You realise he's a boy?
Yeah. But it was a weird age back then. I will say that. And I didn't even know what the watershed thing was until I actually moved to UK about 20 years ago. It's just like, what? My first response was, well, I'm old enough to choose. I'm a legally adult. I carry responsibilities. If I do a crime, I'm supposed to pay the part for the crime if I get caught, but small side points. But either way, it's hearing this, you can't show this before, what is it, 7:30 in UK?
No, it was 9. The watershed was 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock, yeah. It's like, the stuff you show after 9 o'clock, it's like, I saw that as a kid. I was like 4 years old when I first saw these things because, well, I realized it was the day and age. So, well, not current date, but current date for when I was 4 years old. The TNA beer commercials. Perfectly fine to show in the middle of the day.
It's amazing. You used to be able to get a can of beer, and it wasn't somebody in a bikini, it was somebody in a negligee on the can. And there was 4 different women on it, and people actually just thought, because the only time it was ever an issue is if you were going up, you're going to get a can. Oh, she's my favourite. But as soon as you got it, it was a bin. It wasn't a case of people going.
Exactly.
Do you remember that?
She's my favourite, and that was it.
Do you remember that fake advert? That was a bit risky,
Yeah.
wasn't it?
Very suggestive.
Yes.
And Jasper Carrot can have a good, pardon my language, piss take of it, where he's in the other end of the bath and he comes out. You know what your problem is, love? You've got too many flake wrappers in your plug up. That's what the bathroom.
Yeah, Jasper Carrot used to do some good stuff with that stuff.
Yeah.
So, right,
but they were made with good humor.
Yeah,
they weren't meant to demean.
Get offense to them. You remember things like the bitch with Joan Collins. Then she did some tongue-in-cheek adverts with Leonard Rosser.
Yeah,
it was the usual. What time is it? Booze all over and stuff like that, all over his trousers, made it look as if he'd peed on it. And but people didn't actually go, that's terrible. Look, they're making a fun of this and making fun of that. But it was always a case of, because he would actually go up and try and get her to, I mean, he would go up and go, what time is it? She would say to him, what time is it? And he'd go and pour the drink all over him. And then she would be standing like that, and he would go, what time is it? And she would do that and pour it all over him again. And he was the butt of the joke. And then he would go and do that. And then suddenly she would be sitting there drinking, and suddenly her seat would go back and go all over herself. And because it was the two of them getting the mickey taken out of each other, but one was outsmarting the other one, it was just an accident. But it was fun. And
but I did love the one where the guy was standing with the glass, and it's like, what time is it? Well, it was just like, crap. All of it is poured over.
Yeah. It was the same as they've done it in a lot of different things. It's a case of, what time is it? Oh, and he'll bug it around. Then he sees him standing there and goes, oh, aye, what time is it? And he goes, 5 o'clock. And he pours it all over him again. Basically, they've done that. That's been a trope that they've done numerous times with those type of jokes. But you know it's coming, and it's still funny.
But you know why the switch around the wrist came about is like, okay, if you have it on the top, you pour it on yourself. So clearly the guy had been exposed to it before, so he swapped the clock to be on the under. Therefore, he's pulling it forward because he's looking at the clock at the underside of his wrist.
Yeah, the problem was the reason actually did come around, and because initially it was very unusual, was the people used to wear the wristwatch on the outside because of the amount of heavier work. But as the work changed, people would actually be hitting that at the top of the hand. So some people started wearing that underneath because they weren't using their hands and it's hitting. So the top of their hands, they were maybe doing stuff and they needed it there. And that is why, but that's why it was funny, because it was unusual for somebody to have a wristwatch underneath. So you would always expect that. And that's why it was always funny, what time is it? And they'd go like that and pour it. And it was because it was unusual at the time. But as it became more normal, it was still funny. Because you didn't know.
I absolutely agree. But I have a counterpoint. There is a comedian, I think he's still around, Rodney Carrington. South American, I believe he is. A bit more cowboy style and everything. And he does a really fine balance between taking the Mickey out of ladies and also taking Mickey out of the boys, the lads. He has, if you go on YouTube, you can go Rodney Carrington, the woman song, and then you can go Rodney Carrington, the man song. And you will hear that he's taking equal pot shots at both of them. Because there are the silly things that we both do. And
Kelly, what was the name of the movie? Everybody wants to know.
Yes, Kelly, we want to know because you saw it today. So
everybody's asking in the everybody's asking in the chat, and she's still processing it. But sorry, Jimmy.
No. There are, from the adverts back in the day, they actually made the evolution and they managed to make it fun, or like they took the Mickey out of one, and then they stepped back and then they followed it up and they equally took the Mickey out of the other.
Yeah.
So yes, the one got to suffer it for a couple of weeks, and
people didn't feel put out when there was a program taking the Mickey out of them.
Yeah,
and
that was Jasper Carrot's program.
Yeah.
Also, you had Tarrant on TV.
Yeah, the Critical Drinker has said that this is a film you should watch, and I'm getting curious.
I've never even heard of that one. Everything Everywhere all at the same time.
I've seen the trailer to it. It's all right. It's okay, but you just got to watch the movie. But I haven't seen the movie.
Is it a new one? It's not an old one. It's a
brand new one.
It's 2022.
Right. Okay. That's probably why I've never heard of it. Sorry. You know me with all the new stuff. I'm literally an old grumpy old get. It actually likes his old stuff.
You're the godfather. Yeah, I do.
Yeah, I was talking to somebody. Somebody had the Dogfather one, and I'm saying I've got that one. He says, I thought you had the Grandfather one. I says, I've got that one as well. I've got the Godfather, Grandfather, and the Dogfather. I can't help myself. I like the movie, and I like the two connotations for the other one.
Yeah.
Oh, Michelle Yeoh, Jamie Lee Curtis.
Can't go wrong with JLC.
You can't be Michelle Yeoh or Jamie Lee Curtis. Although the last time I actually did a movie review with Michelle Yeoh in it, it got restricted in Asia. And I think it was because I mentioned her name, because it always tells you what part you need to clip out. The only part I had to clip out was mentioning her name. Because it was she went.
It wasn't boss level, was it?
It was boss level. So it was boss
come on,
level.
she's bringing honor to China because she's the sword master.
She's not Chinese, she's Malayan.
Yes, but it was the fact that
yada yada yada.
Yeah.
But it was the fact it was to do with the fact that she basically, I think she disparaged the Chinese government.
That's the problem.
And that was the problem. So it got, as soon as I mentioned her name, it just seemed to go, nope. And it's not as if it's monetized anyway, so it made no zero difference. And if if they couldn't be watched in Asia, it's part of one of my in a review, so it wasn't a major issue, but it was just I found it funny. As soon as I mentioned her name, it seemed to be getting get this clipped, or else you're not watching it. No, nobody can watch it in China. Tough. You can't actually talk about a movie when they're talking about learning sword fighting, and you can't talk about Michelle Yeoh. It's the way the cookie crumbles. But she is good. I like her. I liked her in a lot of the stuff she's been in. So
she's come a long way. She has really come a long way. Because I just remember seeing her for the first time in Tomorrow Never Dies.
She's the main character in this.
Yes.
Everything, Everywhere, all at the same time. I'll need to keep an eye out for that one. So let's have a look. See. Let's see. I'm actually just firing up IMDb. Hold on.
I was looking at it now on Wikipedia. You got 3 parts to it. not bad for a budget of 25 million.
Just there. I'm trying to think because I'm sure I saw some of the early stuff. Right, there's our stuff there. It's there. So 1984. Yes, I'm sure. Police Story, Super Cop. I'd seen a load of her stuff because I love the Jackie Chan stuff, and she was, and I like early Chinese theatre as well, and she was in a few of those, and that's where I'd seen her first. So she was, Twinkle Twinkle Lucky Stars. I saw, and she was only, it was one of, I think it was a second one. Project S, she was in. Police Story 3, Super Cop. Aye. I've seen a load.
Vaguely remember hearing that about that coming out, but I've just got no idea anything about it.
I've not heard about it, I must admit. I'll need to keep an eye out for it.
Oh, I beg your pardon.
I'm trying to see.
So I was a couple of minutes late for coming on the stream. It's just we decided to head out the door about 8 o'clock this morning to go into town for shopping because we didn't want to deal with any crowds. But it was like, it turned into a really tiring day, and I ended up just passing out earlier. So that's why when I came on the stream earlier, I was just like, I had my hoodie on. I was just like, it just woke up.
No, we were up early, and I nipped to. I went to get a beer trim, but the shop was shut. So on my way back, I got our breakfast, and then we went out because I nipped to the charity shop, and I was only out for 15 minutes, and then we were out today for that music fest, and I just got back in just before we were starting. Disaster. I knew she was in Crouching Tiger. She's been in quite a few of the stuff. I like the Jackie Chan stuff, and I recognised her from that before the Crouching Tiger hidden. And I do like her. She was great in Boss Level, but unfortunately, she's also in Star Trek. So I don't watch that. So it's nothing to do with her. You were using a pseudonym. Squeak.
Squeak.
Yeah, we were actually talking about figures that we should actually have, either Funko or just actual figures. Figures, these figures on the shelf. We want these figures, the Terry Pratchett ones. But unfortunately, we're not going to get them. Squeak.
Squeak. Squeak.
Yep. So, guys, what have you got for your pick? Any, Jim? Squeak.
We're completely. We didn't get anything this today. We didn't have time to pop into any of the charity shops or anything, so nothing for us this week.
Not a problem. Jim?
We got a load of stuff last week, so I think we
you cleared it out.
we cleared everything out last week.
Yep. What about you, Jim? He's probably bugged off to the loo.
It's not the loo. I'm getting the stuff sorted, so I'll be back in like 20 seconds.
What you got? The warehouse full?
I know. Somebody's got a warehouse full, accordingly. But I've still got stuff piled up there from last week. My Star Wars, our Star Trek stuff is still in the boxes. I've nowhere to put them because there's literally nowhere to put my boxes. My Star, I need to take them out the boxes and maybe put them in the case. But I just don't know. Right, come up then. Come up. Since you've been a good boy, you know, actually annoyed me the whole time.
Which one is that?
This is Benji. Mr.
Hiya, Benj. Hiya, Benji.
There you go, Benji.
Hey, Benj.
Hello, buddy.
Hey.
Right. I did go to the charity shop. And I got a massive disappointment, and sadly, I didn't have enough time to set up my computer so I could do the wah, 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 wah.
You got a massive disappointment. Surely that was your girlfriend.
I don't have one, so the only one I'm disappointing is myself. But I went to the charity shop, and it turned out that they just decided to just delete the entire section they had of DVD box sets.
Whoa!
And
Why is that?
all of the DVD box sets, whatever they had, I don't know what they did with it. But I decided to browse around the shop. Let's see if I can't find anything geeky, something collectible, something sci-fi. And I picked up something, and I don't know what it is, except the fact that it is a modular ship you can build.
Snapship.
Snapship. I have a vague recollection about those. Yeah.
But you can make from the base model. You can do different angles on the wings and everything, so you can have a completely different setup. And the top lid is actually a mounting base, so you can just build the ship, put it on top,
and that becomes
slide it
the
in,
stand,
and it becomes the stand.
Very good. That actually looks really cool.
Yeah.
And it cost me £4. I have no idea what this is whatsoever, but I just love the idea. It is like build your own ship, versatile.
Really
you snap on the items because it's called snap ships. You just snap on the items.
Ladies and gentlemen, for those who are listening and not watching, it says ships. SHIPS, no matter what we are pronouncing it.
Oh, come on, we want more of the sex bot so we get more views on the channel. But no, I picked this up and I'm looking forward to exploring this tomorrow morning. I have no idea what this is. It has no obvious Disney or like.
Oh, it's got a
Hasbro.
website.
It's got a website.
Yeah,
I haven't explored it because I picked it up literally like 6 hours ago.
Yes, yeah.
The only thing I do regret is that there are a few dings and like.
And the boxes are like that. It's when they're going into a charity shop. I mean, what's at the side? Is that another part of a stand or a base that you can?
No, the entire thing is.
No.
You put your ship.
Yes, but there's a it looks like a junction like that. Is that, or is that just part of a drawing of it where your finger is on the side of the board? The other finger, your middle finger.
No, this is cardboard.
Aye, but that's what I'm saying. Your hand at the other side, that one that you moved. No, that one there. It looked like a bit of stand. I was just asking if it was just something. Look at the side. Don't keep going. Look at the side.
It's like something a bit like tabletop gaming. It seems to be connected to.
Oh, it's just basically explaining how to clip it together. That's all I was saying, because that wee bit there, you can see it. Look. Yeah, that actually looks really good.
Looks like. What's the one you have, Jim? What's the front?
What's the battleship?
What's the name of it?
It tells you down the bottom corner, doesn't it? It says 2 to build.
What does it say? I can't quite see it. Sorry.
Scorpion.
Scorpion.
Scorpion claw troop dropper. It's a scorpion.
I'm just looking at the.
It's completely unopened. I literally just brought it in, put it down to make it ready.
Somebody got it for their birthday or Christmas and thought, I ain't friggin' watching that. Don't know what that is.
If I'm going to be honest, I even have the hanger flip.
Yeah.
Still there.
Scorpion.
And it looks to be completely unopened. Because I can see the
you
tape.
need to do a build video.
Yeah, definitely. Here it is. Oh, yeah.
I still need to do a presentation or taste video of this one.
Yes.
It's still sticking in the background. It is here.
Ladies and gents, he's saying that as if he's not already finished it 4 times and replaced it.
I have not touched this one.
Yeah,
And I
this
will
one.
show you.
You've touched the other 3, but
Be
you've
careful of
not
that glass.
Yes, what's your double?
Yeah, I heard you last month, but it is
Yeah.
still untouched.
Yeah.
Nice.
And I will do a taste testing.
Yeah.
Just because
Ladies and
that one
gents,
should be so
if
super
you
easy.
notice his wording, he says, I haven't touched this one. That's his words.
There may be a few more of these, but I haven't touched this one.
You can always
I
still
put
get the help for it.
I put a couple of links in the
There you
private
go.
chat, Jim.
It's no longer.
And there's one for that particular ship, that particular name of the ship that you got, the Scorpion, was it?
Scorpion
Yes,
Claw
Scorpion,
Dropper.
yes.
Yeah, it's got like they look pretty cool. I got to be honest.
So it's
Yeah,
no Pickery Week,
that
it's
what's caught
Pickery
my
Week.
interest is you can make it one way or a different way.
Yeah, they
because you
call
can
them
snap it
art
different.
builds
Uh-huh.
or
Yeah.
alt builds. Alt builds. Forgive me.
Yeah.
Alt build 1, alt build 2, main build.
So yeah, it would
can mess
likely
around.
go up behind Mikey.
Hello, Mikey. And Donnie.
You got the keen eye. It's Donnie.
Yeah.
And then I would just go with
Ship of the week.
this.
Yeah.
Yep.
This ship, probably something like this. I don't know. And if I do the spotlights, you'll get the close up a little bit more. I'll have to adjust the camera so it is proper. But yeah, that's where it would be probably put up once I really test what it is, because I haven't even opened it. That is my project for tomorrow morning.
Yep. Very good.
That sounds cool.
So I wasn't completely disappointed the fact that the charity shop had just yeeted all the DVDs.
I wonder if they shipped them
and-
to it. They might have traded with another shop or done something.
That is true, but considering
charity
we've
shop-
been doing this for 42, so hey, shout out to Douglas Adams.
Yeah.
But we've been doing this for 42 times now,
Yep.
raiding charity
Universe
shops
and
and all.
everything. Big blue.
Yes.
I saw you coming, Jim. That's why.
See, my charity shop told us that there's a scout hall and they're actually moving into there for the next 4 weeks because they've got too much for the shop and they're setting it up all in there and they're doing a sale. And I can only go on a Saturday morning, so somebody's going to beat me the whole week leading up to it to get all the good stuff. And I'll just have to get what's left. But which means when I go the first Saturday, there'll be hundreds of boxes to look through. I'm looking forward to that. Right, Ben, can I get peace and quiet, please? No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
But yeah, that was the surprising pick of the week, and
Yeah, it's very interesting.
I did get it from the charity shop. It was about £4, and I was standing there for the longest time, just like twisting and turning. As I don't recognize. There's no Hasbro. There's no Disney. There's no Lego. There's no nothing.
Yeah.
Never heard of it. So I thought, well, it's a modular spaceship looking sort of ish alien.
Uh-huh.
Okay, £4.
Yeah, that
Slightly
looks
more
pretty
than I would,
Sometimes these
would
things like
pay.
that are fun.
Yeah.
Where is it? Have I still got it? I've got a Lego piece and it was just a wee spaceship. I didn't. I gave it to my nephew, and it was just a generic spaceship, and it was just something to build. It was quite a generic thing. It wasn't Star Wars, Star Trek, anything like that. It was just a Lego spaceship. So I just got it and I built it, and I gave it to somebody. But sometimes they're just good to build for fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think I have a perfect plan here. So I'll do 2 videos at the same time. I mount the GoPro on my ring light cam that I have over my engineering desk. I'll start with the pint of beer. sample it,
What could go wrong?
and then
Yeah,
I'll
what could
open
go wrong with the
the.
build?
Then
What
I'll
could go
open
wrong with the build
next
after
one.
that?
Well,
The
he
problem,
would be
this will
if
go
a
to your
drunk.
pod on. Anybody got super glue? I'll get it.
Well,
Well, if a
on the
drunk
floor.
adult can't build what has been designed for, what is it? This one is 8 plus.
Yeah.
8 plus.
Well, see, the good thing is, I would need specialist equipment. Right, I'm ready.
Oh
to build
yeah,
it.
very nice.
Oh no, I have a big floating magnifying glass that you just pull in, and it's like, okay, I need to see. Okay,
You look
was
like
my-
PJ
this is
of
my
Borg.
building- Yeah, this is my building kit. It was.
Tertiary adjunctive Unimatrix 01.
PJ
Or
09.
of 9.
Yeah.
I know that logo.
Yeah. I thought you might.
But no, basically, this is my building kit when I used to actually build all the wee bits and bobs. Now I can't use that. I still keep that. One of these days, I'm going to actually do something with it.
I'm sure it'll be useful.
I'm going to mention something about Lego because I'm absolutely getting fed up with these. Every time I either buy a big Lego kit, why do I need these connectors still?
Okay, those connectors that are very silly things
Yeah,
for
I know.
unclipping, clipping.
Yeah, you only need one, not bloody a lot of them. That's the problem.
Do you get one per pack?
You save
You know why
them
you
for
get,
future
you know why you get
projects.
multiples in a pack?
I just need one. I don't need
But
like.
do you know why
three.
you get multiples in a pack?
Why is that?
It's because certain packs can go into multiple boxes.
Yeah.
So if you only had one of them in a pack, if that pack didn't go into a box, then you could end up with a box with none in it. And that's why they put one in every bag. So if you only get one bag, you get one in it. That's what they do it for, because they're all modular now.
I just prefer it the old times when Lego, when you just try and rip it off with your fingers.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that with the teeth. When you
Crap,
cut
I swallowed
the
it.
with a wee flat bit at the top, and it wouldn't go in. It was the wrong bit, the wrong colour. I get one single square off when it was in the middle of everything else. You didn't want to actually start at the outside and go click, 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 click to get to the middle. You wanted to get into the middle. Ended up breaking the thing, or else damaging all the tiles around it, trying to get it out without damaging any tiles. Fun.
I'll tell you something, when I used to do big Lego builds, when I had my old Lego model, I used to use a mallet just to go, and then you end up breaking it.
I used to use a mallet fixing computers.
I'm going to use it a lot.
The only thing I used to fix computer was the method called picnic.
Problem in chair,
not in computer.
Yep. Or else that's okay when you don't have a craft moment. Craft. Can't remember a fucking thing.
Yeah, that's good.
Let me Google that for you.com, which is actually a real website.
Yeah. No, I effectively used a mallet because when you first got the 5.5-inch hard drives, the ones you used to get before that were slightly smaller.
Mm-hmm.
So we would put a new hard drive in and go like that, and it wouldn't fit. So we would get the mallet out and just bend out the case so we could put the hard drive in. We use mallets on hard drives, on computers quite often, just because they actually change the sizes of the hard drives to input into them. So they went from something like 4.5 inch to 5.25 inch, or they were slightly thicker. I think it was something like that. It was just you had to actually bend it out So we used to use mallets on it just to bend the casing, so we could actually get the new hard drives in.
I'm definitely the youngest one here, and it's not the bragging statement. But when I started working in IT, we were actually using blow torches to replace the RAM memories and the capacitors. We were actually having to have welding certificates to actually replace live computer hardwares in the 80s.
Wow.
Well, when I first started, when you used to get a bug in your code, you literally got a bug in your code because I started at the end of punch cards.
Yeah, you actually had to go around and hoover it. And
Yeah.
this is one of
That's why you get a
film
bug.
I like about from Whoopi Goldberg. Jumping Jack Flash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that is how old school computers were.
Yeah. Because I remember, basically, I never understood when they called it a bug. Why did they call it a bug? And it was a case of, do you remember when you used to do the punch cards? Yeah. Did you ever actually find a bug in it? No. And they says that's why, because sometimes bugs got caught when they were punching. So when you were punching it and putting the cards together, the card would crush the bug and it would cover the hole that you just punched. Hence the reason why you get a bug in the code. And yes, so I used to use when I started, they were just phasing out punch cards, and we used them once or twice before we got a big mainframe that 22 people could use it, but any more than 12 people using it, it would slow down.
Yeah.
But 22 people could use it, but it was that slow that there was no much point. It would take something like 2 minutes to actually type in a line of code.
Yeah.
You're sitting there going, because there's no point typing faster because it wouldn't work. So
I'm gonna have to bail. Good night, everybody. I'm absolutely. I literally have about half a brain cell left today.
Well, and as always, thank you very much for joining us and bringing much needed wisdom to this stream.
Silliness, definitely.
Well, we definitely need that as well. But thank you very much for joining us. And
thanks.
Catch you on Wednesday.
Yep, I'll pop in the chat on Wednesday and we'll see what we can find for next Saturday as well. See what we can come up with.
Definitely. And I'll chat to you tomorrow anyway, because we need to organise for Wednesday. Don't want to leave it too late.
Okie dokie. Night, everybody.
Right, good night, Ren. Thank you.
Night.
So that's been the pick of the week, ladies and jelly spoons. So we're not too bad. Snapships, and let's put them in there. I'm going to have a look at them later on. And hi Wookie, thank you for joining us. So there you go. Do we ever see Wendy and Wookie in the same place? Wendy goes out and Wookie comes in. So basically, what's your plans? What's on your watch list for the next month?
Not a lot, really.
Anything? Because my watch list is actually opened up, and as I said, I'm going to actually start catching up with the stuff that you have recommended.
I'm just going to watch the programs that I continue to keep watching each week, but sometimes when I fancy watching a film, I watch a film.
Oh, I do that. Basically, I've been watching different things on and off while I was watching Numbers, and then I did the same when I started watching The Librarian, and I'm going to actually, I've got the Flash Gordon series 1. I've not had a look at that yet. That was that Dyer one that Jim was talking about. I've still got that on my list to watch, but I've got stuff on my list which goes about 3 months in advance, and sometimes I have to jiggle things around. So what I did was I'd planned to I changed my list last month, which means that anything that was mentioned over the month of June, I was going to add into for next week's, and obviously things like For All Mankind and I'm still trying to get hold of the Outlander. I still cannot find a copy of it.
The Outlander, the Viking film, or
right.
the Outlander is definitely something I would recommend if you like.
I just
Combine
can't find it.
It's not as bad as Cowboys versus Aliens, but it has the same element.
Yeah.
The Outlander has alien tech, but he's joining an inferior, shall we say, but inferior is the inaccurate word to say here. They are not as advanced as his culture is. And he's trying to do Prime Directive 1 to not introduce too much advanced stuff to them. But he and they, the Viking tribe, has to fight off a superior enemy that is accidentally introduced by him. If he wasn't there, the alien that was hunting him would not be there. So he has to balance that whole thing of, okay, we need to upgrade the camp so they can actually fight. Because if they're using the technology they have, they cannot respond.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I've been trying to find it, and I cannot get hold of it. I even tried Tortuga and couldn't get hold of it.
It should definitely be available on Tortuga.
Yeah, and there's a couple of things, but there's 0 seeds across the board for it, which I find unusual. Usually, if I can't find it anywhere else, if I'll check that out, there's at least something, but there's nothing with a seed or a leech even. There's one or 2 leeches there, but there's nobody seeding it. So
ping me on the DMs and I'll see if I can't find the link for you that will work.
Aye, it's just weird one, but I've got a load of stuff on the thing because, as I said, I've got the Flash Gordon stuff that you'd made when we were talking about the Flash Gordon, because you'd mentioned that. I managed to watch Remo Williams you had mentioned, so I've caught up with that. But I've got the one at Ian.
We need to nuke the chat again.
Oh God, Jesus! It's really see when it happens, it's an absolute pest. But I've still got What Is a Woman? The Ian the Mega he actually sent us, so I'm going to actually watch that. That's on my list for tomorrow. So, but I just try to actually. I'm actually going to watch. I was talking to his father, and I think he's right. What's on my watch list for this week is Jack of All Trades. I've already started watching.
That's an amazing Bruce Campbell one.
I've watched the first 2 episodes a fortnight ago, but I moved it down the list a bit. But I think I'll move it back up for the 4th of July because it is fun. It's Bruce Campbell. It is absolutely stunning. So I'm okay with that. So I think what we'll do is keep that on my list.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell is doing really well in that one. It was definitely needed in the midst of all the Buffy, Xena.
I think his best thing he's ever done out with the Ash stuff was Briscoe County Jr. Briscoe was definitely Bruce Campbell's best. Jack of All Trades was his funniest, but Briscoe was his best show out with his initial Ash stuff. But he's been great in most things. Bubba Hotep, he was fantastic in. Burn Notice, he was absolutely amazing in.
I still love Burn Notice, and I have that on my.
Yeah,
It's a rotation list I have next to Boston Legal.
Yeah, Burn
where
Notice,
you have William Shatner being Donald Trump on steroids.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw a couple of episodes of that. I've never been one for legal stuff. It's just to me, it's just too wordy. But I did see a couple.
It is too wordy, but it is literally. It's the weirdest show I've ever watched. It's
is that
William
the one that's got James
Shatner.
Spader in it as well?
Yes, it has James Spader. He's the too wordy one, but William Shatner is Alzheimer, but full on red state, redneck American, guns and totings, and he'll shoot people, and he'll go to court and was like, yeah, I did it, but I'm not a criminal. She just goes like, what the hell?
You know the funniest William Shatner thing I watched? Shit, my dad said.
I have not got into that one.
He was fun in that. It was just one of these things. He overacted his heart out, and it was just fun. It didn't last too long. Season and a half, maybe 2 seasons at the most.
I definitely have to watch that because I love his over-the-top stuff in Boston Legal. It's I'll take one episode. It's not necessarily a spoiler, but he's been very frustrated with James Spader. James Spader's character, who's constantly winning cases and all of that. So he suggests to him that, hey, let's go to a Canadian fishing cabin, a tourist resort. And James Spader says, okay, I'll tag along. And James Spader just keep catching fish after fish after fish after fish. And William Shatner is just like running out into the river. And mind you, William Shatner is a Canadian, so he's actually from this country. But he's going out with a shotgun, just trying to kill fish, so he can actually catch one fish.
We used to do that with a slug gun.
Yeah.
Basically. And my dad, he's watching us on the pier, just going like that as he's fishing, and he's just saying, "You realise as soon as it hits the water, it slows right down. So even if the fish was right there, it wouldn't do any damage to it." We are 12-year-olds cocking the gun just so it can go poof, and all the wee lead pellets just getting dropped into the water for nothing.
Yeah, but no, it has so many hilarious, weird scenarios. But he's basically the 45th president of the United States, the name that should not be mentioned, apparently, according to social media. But it's basically him on steroids, but he just happens to be a lawyer that is a named partner in a legal law firm in Boston. And wow, there is so much to laugh in. You just go absolutely insane. It is fun from the get-go because the intro literally has one of the named partners going a little bit cuckoo. So he walks into a international meeting room with cameras on, and he has if you're in the United Kingdoms, no pants on. If you're outside of the United Kingdoms, there's no trousers on. So he's basically there in just his undies, and
we call him in the UK his pants.
Yeah, he's in his pants. And it starts off brilliantly, and it's well worth because they do deal with a lot of sensitive and tricky topics, that we were thinking about 20 years ago. And it is just so well crafted around the topic. If he wants to talk about, hey, a black individual can't do this thing because it was literally ascribed that it was a white individual, they'll argue the other side of the case and do it without shoving a message down your throat. It's like, why shouldn't they? It's literally that. It's really well balanced. So I'll highly recommend check out Boston Legal if you can. It's fun, very much meant to be humor.
Yeah. I have, as I said, I have seen it. It's too wordy for me because I like the procedural ones where they're doing stuff. I have seen a couple of episodes. That's why I knew James Spader was in it. But I don't know. It's just, there's been a lot of them. It's the same as Suits. Everybody used to go on, Suits was quite good. Watch that. And I thought, it's a lawyer thing. I watched, didn't even get watched in half an episode. And I just went, nah, just wasn't for me. But
I have to find a similar one because
my restrictions, because if I find something too wordy, I get bored quite quickly. Hence the reason why I can watch things that people think are crap, because they're fast moving and I just see them as silly, fun things. So
I think Boston Legal might actually be something that grows on you, because
so
initially they don't do too much of the wordy part. They just fix the problem.
Yeah,
but later on they actually come up with the crescendo, like a pianist is playing a piano and is like, okay, I'm building up, and then it's like, here is the big delivery.
Yeah, but the problem is, see, as the pianist was building up, I would slam the thingy on his fingers.
Yes, but this is the thing. They do that to him. They literally try to slam it down. It's like, oh, look at this guy. There is actually a character within the TV show that is put there to counterface
Kelly's
him.
got a point. Her problem with legal shows is she compares it with real life being a
I feel so sorry for you, Kelly, because I did see
a comedy works because we know how farcical it is. But you imagine the IT crowd is a semi-humorous thing.
No. The IT crowd is 100% reflecting IT people, but I will give that to Kelly.
Because it is
what
a
she's
fast
saying
comedy.
is, I watched the JD Amber Heard thing, the real life court drama, so to speak, and it's like 90% of the time they were just going up, approach the bench, please, and it's like mute the cameras and microphones and whatnot. Because that was basically the whole thing. 90% of it is like mute the microphone.
If I want to watch a legal thing, My Cousin Vinny.
Well, I'm a sucker for it because it got Marissa Tomei.
And it's Joe Pesci in it. Come on. And it's also got the Karate Kid himself.
Yep. Yes, it has a good cast, but come on, Marissa Tomei. I don't care. She's.
Cam thought you were talking about Blackadder in the Middle Ages at first.
It's probably true, but oh god,
My Cousin Vinny is fantastic. I love My Cousin Vinny.
I believe I do have it, but it's probably now sorted in one of my back shelves.
Oh no, mine's is up there. I love My Cousin Vinny. I would need to actually dig out my database to check. But the good thing is, I just need to actually fire up my database, type in the name for the search, and it'll tell me where it is.
I will tell Kelly
My cousin Vinny.
You don't have to believe it. My cousin Vinny is fantastic. There is no or not. My cousin Vinny is fantastic.
Yes. I know what one. I know what one this is. I know. Right, go on. You never
Parking on a double yellow line, my lord.
Parking on a double yellow line. How do you plead?
Not guilty, Your Honour.
All the evidence before me suggests that you are guilty. And after giving this case due consideration, I shall find you guilty. And the sentence of the court upon you is that you be taken from this place to a lawful prison, and from thence to a place of execution. And that there, on a date appointed by the court, you be hanged by the neck until you are dead. And may the Lord have mercy upon your soul.
It's only a parking offence, my lord. It's only a parking offence. It's a £2 fine.
You will also pay the
But this is British humor at its elite level.
Yeah.
But I do believe we need to start rounding off soon.
We will, because I've been up for too long and I didn't get my old man's nappy nap. So
and you got your hyperactive dogs to deal
yes,
with.
they're actually calmed down now. They're lying, sleeping, both of them. They're actually, Buddy's lying in his bed with his head hanging out. His bed. He must be uncomfortable because the pillow is lying right at his throat. It looks uncomfortable as hell. My cousin Vinny is just, I think I'm going to put that back on my list again for this week. And also the judge, Herman Munster, Fred, is superb. He, the very first time I saw my cousin Vinny, all I thought was Herman, which you consider it's Joe Pesci's and that's in it. You're sitting there thinking, it was the first thing I saw was the judge. And that was the first thing it got me. So because he was in it, I sat and watched it and I loved it. And I've watched it multiple times since that.
That's a good joke.
Fred Gwynn, yep.
I like Kelly's comment. That's an easy way to get off jury duty.
Yeah.
Say that you believe in the death penalty for parking tickets.
No, do you know the easiest way to get off jury duty, and I'm not saying I've ever done this at all, is say, I know him.
Oh, yeah.
Basically, you're biased out. Or if you don't want to even admit you might know the person who's up there, depending on what you're saying, may say things like, is that the guilty guy we have to find? Out. Yeah, it's not that I've thought about these things before, but I've only been ever called up once for jury duty and I never get picked, and I've never been called up in my whole 39 years.
I've never done
it. 18 only. I've only ever been called up once and I was never taken, and I've never been called up again, and I don't know if it's something to do with something I might have said way back then, but I don't know. Yeah, there is some people who want to serve the busybody nosy ones because they want to see the juicy stuff, but they only want to serve in the juicy ones. They want to serve in the murder cases, the kidnaps, the rapes, whatever. They don't want to serve in the one that, or so-and-so's punched him. I don't really care. But that's the thing. There is a lot of busybodies who do want to serve. And unfortunately, it's the ones you don't want to serve are the ones that want to serve. Because they're only there just to say, well, I actually like how he looks, so he's no guilty. You mean the guy who was found standing with a knife in the person, pulling it out and in? You don't think he's not, but he doesn't look as if he's guilty. He couldn't do that. It's those people you don't want. Jesus, Kaylee. That is just bad luck. 57, and I've been called once, never served at all. UK, bit different because we've got the sheriff court and we've got the Crown Court, but it's usually the local sheriff court we get called up to. Very rarely we'll get called up to a Crown Court, which you would class as federal, maybe. So, but it's usually the sheriff court. So we've got sheriff and Crown, whereas you've got local and federal. Yep, that's exactly it. They want stupid people who are easy to convince one way or the other. Yeah, that's another way. That guy owes me money. You just basically ask the lawyer, is that the guilty guy?
Yeah.
You already made up your mind, boy. How much is it we're getting? So anyway, we could go on with those jokes. But ladies and gents, thank you for joining us. I'm actually getting to the point I'm falling off my seat. I can feel myself go, nod off. I'm getting old. I'm getting old. When I was a lad. But Wednesday, we are going to be looking at another movie. We have not decided again. Someday, I don't know who, but somebody keeps forgetting and waiting to the last minute. And listen, boy, you're too late to come in with your porno stuff just as we're about to finish.
Yeah, bugger off.
Aye. Oh, there's three types of jury. The local trial court, there's federal trial court, and there's the grand jury. Well, we've got the sheriff court and the Crown Court. I don't think there's a, because the local court is not. You've got obviously children's court.
Yeah.
So, but it's really a different system around.
It is a completely different system, but so there's only the two levels of the court over here. But I'm going to finish off there because I am flagging and I'm getting old. My wee old bones are grumpy and falling apart.
You're not getting old.
Okay,
hold on to your britches, old man. You're classic. You're not old.
Aye. I'm going to dig out one of my t-shirts. I've got 3 t-shirts now. Say that. And as I've said to people, all these big channels, they get their own merchandise, they get it printed, then they sell it in their channel. Me, you can get mine at Asda or Home Bargains. It basically was a pair of pajamas. It says, "I'm not old, I'm classic." A pair of pajamas with a car on it, and it's got my saying on it. So you could buy mine. You could go to Home Bargains, get it. My wife says it's a bit expensive for Home Bargains paying £12.
I don't think I've ever heard Home Bargains being mentioned as expensive, but okay.
No, but £12 in Home Bargains, that's expensive accordingly. There you go. Kelly's pick of the week.
Mad world.
We were talking about that on Wednesday. Was it Wednesday we were talking about that? Because we were talking about the Madman. It was on the Father stream last night. We were talking about Madman, Mad World, the Monte Carlo or Bust and stuff like that. We were talking about that. I've not seen that for a few years. I need to actually see if I can dig out a copy. That is a perfect pick of the week, Kelly. I am so jealous. That is a great one, especially in Blu-ray.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But we'll be rounding off now, I think. We need to figure out what we're doing for Wednesday, but we do have our channels that we usually do. Would recommend that we check through the spreadsheet that I shared.
Yes, we will do that, and I'll speak to you tomorrow. But some old boy is basically falling asleep.
Sorry, classic boy.
I'm old at the moment until I actually open my mouth. Then I'm. Who said that? Yeah. But ladies and gents, boys and girls, thank you very much for joining us. Jim, Alex, thank you for sticking with us, and Wend, thank you for being improving the quantity and quality of the panel. I know I'm gorgeous, but no, everybody is. What do you mean senile? But Thank you, everyone. Remember, I'm not old. I'm classic. PJ, maybe the guys and the porno in the chat out.